The morning fog is lifted off Seneca Lake and up the hill at beautiful Watkins Glen International. It's a spectacular sunny August day. The track is ready for NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying. Drivers taking to this challenging 7-turn layout to see who gets those precious upfront starting spots for this afternoon's NASCAR Nationwide Series once-a-year visit here to the Glen. And hello from the Finger Lakes region of New York. Alan Bestwick joined by champion driver Dale Jarrett and champion crew chief Andy Petrie. This racetrack at 7 turns around, a little less than 2.5 miles, plus the inner loop, is challenging enough on its own. Then add in the pressure of qualifying. It could be quite the handful, especially based on what we saw in practice yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that most of these tracks that we've seen this qualifying go, been pretty tame. Not going to be the case here today. We're going to see a lot of things happening. If practice yesterday was any indication, you see here coming out of the inner loop, Kyle Busch losing it. We saw a lot of cars in this very area. It seems like the inner loop is going to be the trouble spot as they try to get to turn 5. Is going to be a trouble spot. Matt Kenseth went on to have a problem later on in turn 7. So just all kinds of things happening at different parts. But they tell me they're carrying so much speed around this track and the way they're having to attack it that it's creating them being out of control, maybe even more than we've ever seen them here before.
Yeah, they're looking for every opportunity on the racetrack to find a little bit of an edge. So you get just a little bit more speed. And you can see Ryan Reed had a little problem off of turn 6, got in the tire barrier. Don't want to see that here in qualifying because this is an impound race. The race is going to start later. You don't want to tear the car up, although you do want to try to start up front.
So bring the car back in one piece, but bring it back with a fast lap because starting up front is so critical here.
It really is. Track position at these road courses is supreme, and you really, the strategy is going to play a big part, but you need to start up front to take advantage of a really good winning strategy, and you see that happening here.
Yeah, as a driver, being able to run the race from the very beginning the way that you want to and giving your crew chief that opportunity to call the race the way that it should be instead of trying to take some gambles is very important to the driver. So speed does mean a lot, but getting that speed can be a little bit on the edge, which can create issues.
Should be very interesting to watch this qualifying session unfold. There is the grid along the pit lane, and down there somewhere is Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you very much, Alan. Hello, everyone. You know, with just 12 points separating the top 4 drivers in the NASCAR Nationwide Series standings, the pressure's already beginning to build down here, especially the fact that these teams are staring arguably the toughest 2-week stint in the entire series schedule, back-to-back road course races at Watkins Glen and Mid-Ohio. Now, that's why you can't afford a mechanical mistake. You can ill afford to have a problem. Yesterday, that guy, rookie Ty Dillon, had a whole handful of issues here. Late in practice, the car began to stumble and the engine was a little sluggish. They came in, changed the carburetor, figuring that would fix it. It did not. They put gas in the car and realized, wow, now we've got a fuel pickup problem. They go out for a few more laps of final practice, and guess what? The transmission burns up. So after practice, they came in, changed the transmission pump, all the lines, changed the fuel cell, fuel pump, all the lines. Do they have it fixed? Well, they hope so, but they won't know until they go out to practice and qualify, and maybe even until the race later today. A lot of concern for a young man right now sitting 4th in the point standings, just 12 points back. Now, for a driver who doesn't have to worry about points, let's go to Mike Massaro.
No, he doesn't have to worry about points, nor does he really care about them. The only thing Marcos Ambrose cares about, Doc, is bringing home another Watkins Glen trophy. His trophy shelf already has 5 of them, 2 in the Sprint Cup Series and 3 in the Nationwide Series, including 3 consecutive wins between 2008 and 2010. He, however, has not raced in a nationwide race here since 2010, so that streak is still intact. He's trying to pick up right where he left off today. How good is the car for qualifying? Well, crew chief Scott McDougall told me yesterday it was fast right off the truck, and after every change they made, it got even faster. Evidence of that, he was the fastest in the final practice. So now Ambrose is trying to do exactly what he did the last time he was here at a nationwide race, and that's win from the pole. But Alan, to do that, he first needs to capture it.
Which won't be easy with people like Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch and Joey Logano out there to challenge him for that #1 spot. That's Nationwide Series qualifying. Coming up next, then it's on to NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying. Later on, 11:30 Eastern here on ESPN2. Ambrose will be a favorite in that one too, but he'll have a stiff cast of characters challenging him for those precious upfront qualifying spots. NASCAR Nationwide Series race coverage today is over on ABC, starting at 2 Eastern time for the once-a-year go at the Glen for the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and then tomorrow, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series here on this famous New York road course, ESPN, starting at noon Eastern time. Knockout qualifying for the Nationwide Series starts next on a spectacular Saturday here at Watkins Glen.
You guys coming to my barbecue? Steve's BBQ.
Yeah. Is this right?
Oh, hey, guys.
Subway is bringing big barbecue flavor with the Applewood pulled pork, slow cooked to tender perfection. Subway, eat fresh.
Energy. Energy, energy, energy. It's inside of all of us.
Even Gary here.
Baraka has guarana and caffeine to support mental sharpness.
Oh, yeah.
Early morning meeting, no problem. Plus, Baraka has B vitamins to support physical energy. Some assembly required. Ah, cherished memory. I'm bringing down the house. 2 things, 1 package. Baraka!
Introducing the clean cut look from Axe Styling. Mix, rake, comb.
Hi.
Delightful. Upgrade to Axe Clean Cut Look Gel, the easy way to superior style.
Twins Cliff and Chris Paul made it their pursuit to pass selflessness onto the next generation.
I got it.
On the court, little Chris's signature alley-oop-de-doop drew the attention of local scouts. While off the court, little Cliff assisted neighborhood children from his own State Farm branch. The Pauls knew a little assist goes a long way, no matter who it comes from.
What are you doing, Jay? Hang down your own tree.
It's my tree. I'm just trying to do something nice for the neighborhood birds.
You don't care about the birds. You're just trying to get their droppings on my dart.
I've always supported birds. They're one of nature's miracles.
What is this even? This not even part of a tree.
Sure it is. It's to feed the birds.
Look where you put the birdhouse.
I didn't even notice your car here. I literally didn't even notice it.
It's coming down.
It's not coming down.
Oh, it's coming down.
I'll call the police.
I hope you do.
I would love to call the police on you.
I would love to see you think the police would side with you on this.
Tomorrow, the race to the all-new Chase returns to the Glen, where wild finishes are the norm and playoff hopes hang in the balance. Watkins Glen, tomorrow at noon on ESPN.
The object, be first to that stripe. At the end of the day today for the NASCAR Nationwide Series drivers, the object is to be fastest between that stripe and returning to that stripe. Now, in knockout qualifying that's about to get underway here at Watkins Glen International. So because of the length of track and so on, the new knockout qualifying system, this will be a 2-round session. The opening one will be 30 minutes long. Top 12 advance on to the final round. And after that 10-minute break, it will be a brief 10-minute session for the drivers and teams to figure out who's going to win the front row starting spots for this race. And DJ, you were just saying before we came back from the break, you think there'll be an early rush out onto the track here in this one.
Yeah, I really do. I think some of these teams and drivers want to take advantage of getting out there before others start getting out there, kicking up dirts, rocks, anything that may happen there, plus spinning and causing the session to come to a halt. So if you're already out there making a start. So I think that some may have a little bit of concern from the rubber that is on the track right now because there was a Ken-In race yesterday afternoon, and that rubber is different. But I do believe that we'll see some get out there quickly to try to set their fast lap.
You saw Chase Elliott buckled in and ready to go. You saw Kyle Busch outside of his car and not. So they're going to take the contrarian strategy there and wait till later.
Yeah, we've seen them do that quite a bit, I think.
Yeah.
Probably more than anyone else, Kyle Busch and his team.
Trevor Bayne and Jack Roush. And they're obviously going to wait a little bit to go because we're only a minute away from the start of the session.
I think Trevor wanted to get in, but realizing that he is the boss and he's going to be there.
Spend a little extra time.
Yeah.
Joey Logano ready to go. And Ty Dillon's team talking about what the plan might be for their qualifying strategy.
I kind of talked to Stockman. I think it'd be better to go at least let these guys complete a lap. That way they're not pulling in off the last corner on our fast lap, you know.
And Ty's got a starting spot here on the pit road that's back away, so he can't really get out in that first wave. But there's going to be some of that. People are going to be on the track, maybe holding up some fast cars in different places, and it can be frustrating.
About 10 seconds away from the signal to go. 3, 2, 1. And they're off.
Ty Dillon's trying to sneak by a few of them and get out there as early as he can. I think he's going to make that first 5, 6, 7, 8 cars maybe.
Doc?
You're going to see people like Kyle Busch right there, maybe Matt Kenseth and a few others sit here and wait a while. You're wondering, well, why would you wait? Because you want to go out like you saw Ty Dillon do a minute ago and get a clean lap in while the track is clean before anybody holds it down. Even Chase Elliott, our points leader, sitting there. And here's why. Last night there was a K&N Series race here on this road course. They use a bias ply tire. Now, when these nationwide cars yesterday practiced following the K&N cars, the track was completely different. And it took them about 30 or 40 minutes to be able to get that rubber off so their cars could get dialed in. Now, they dialed them in for what the track should be, but with the K&N race last night, they're worried about K&N bias ply rubber on the track. So some of the veterans are going to sit and wait a little bit, like Kyle, and let some of the other guys get some of that rubber out of the way, and then they will go out maybe 5 to 10 minutes from now.
Kind of what you were talking about there a minute ago, DJ, that might be a concern that would cause some teams to hesitate.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, obviously they went yesterday. When they first started their practice sessions was after that. And they probably did see something there, but I'm not so sure that getting out there with a really cool racetrack this morning and nothing has happened here today might not be a good time to get there with a lot of grip.
And the goal in this session is just to make the top 12. So if they can just get out there and make a solid lap, especially these faster teams, just make a lap and get it on the board. They can sit there and let the tires cool down for the session that really matters, and that's the next one.
I'd really like to be out there. Be out there before things start happening, because we saw a lot of action in practice yesterday. We're going to see some of that, I believe, in this qualifying session.
Here's the man to keep an eye on. He'll set the standard early. Even though Joey Logano is in front of him on the racetrack and already on a lap, here is Marcos Ambrose.
See him sliding around a little bit right there, getting started on that lap.
Up on that curbing, and they'll use that a lot in a lot of different areas. But if you hit it wrong a couple of times, because it is painted, it can be a little bit slick. There's one curbing they've cut down, 2 of them actually they've cut down a lot. It's created a lot of speed through that inner loop. And I think that's a lot of the reason we're seeing these cars and drivers have problems on the exit of that inner loop and coming out, because they're carrying more speed than what they have before.
Plenty of clear racetrack ahead of the 09 here. Track record, 1 minute 11.538 seconds, set by Sam Hornish a year ago. New track record in qualifying 3 of the last 4 races here at the Glen, and we'll see what the numbers look like as they begin to come up.
The good thing for these drivers, by what I've been told, is you can go out and abuse these tires and run hard because they seem to come back. So they're not concerned, as they are in a lot of places, about getting the speed in the next session if they have to go in, or as they will move forward.
So 1 lap on the clock and done there for Ambrose, second fastest to Joey Logano. But the object of this session is to be in the top 12, inflicting as little abuse on your car as you can, and get ready for the final session. Ty Dillon. Team that had its hands full yesterday, as Doc reported on earlier. Some of the problems they had in the afternoon practice session, wondering if they had them all remedied before they went out there. Ty's posted, as you see left of the screen, the 3rd fastest lap so far, and he's on pace to top Joey Logano here.
He's 3rd quickest on that first lap. He was right behind Ambrose and only just a 10th and a half or so off of his time. He lost some time in that section.
Bumped him up to 2nd fastest behind Logano. Logano has run fast enough to set a new track record in the 2 laps that he ran, the 2nd of them a little quicker than the 1st. So there's your next track record falling. That always sounds so funny, isn't it? Wrestling it back around with the engine shut off to...
Yeah, and it's going to be difficult. They got them shut down. They're hard to steer, but you see them looking in the mirror, trying to stay out of everyone else's way, too. It's an obligation you have. You can mess up somebody's lap if you really wanted to do that. I'm not sure you'd want to have the encounter that may ensue in the pits afterwards, but that's an option that you do have. But you'll see most of them trying to stay out of the way, but going around here at a slow pace.
And it is something that the drivers have been told. Number one, there's no place to shortcut the course other than the inner loop. And if you do that, then you have to come to a complete stop where the lap doesn't count. But even on your comeback around lap, NASCAR has told the drivers, stay up to speed and stay out of the way. But there is no place to get out of the way. And you have to watch and get help from your spotters very carefully. Ryan Reed out in a backup car after the crash yesterday we showed you in the second of the 2 practice sessions.
That happened right at the end of the second session, so these are the first laps in this backup car for him.
It's almost one of the pluses of this new qualifying style. If you have a problem like that at the end of practice, you can come out here and put some laps on the car to try and sort it out. Now, what you can't do are make adjustments to it in any significant way. But at least you know where you stand. Matt Kenseth coming out. Kyle buckled in. You see just 14 drivers have made a lap here so far. But more coming. Here's Paul Menard. A really good road racer.
Yeah, Paul is a good road racer. Right? He drove the first race here at Watkins Glen in my car in the Sprint Cup Series. I think it was 2003. And he's got a real technique and a talent for these kind of tracks.
That's his teammate Brian Scott that's just behind him.
Yep. So Menard looking well good to crack the top 12 with this lap so far.
See, this curve's not nearly as abrupt as we've seen here before, and there is a lot of speed being carried through that section. A little over a tenth of a second off for Logano at that point. See what he can do here in the left-hander. This is one of the significant left-hand turns on the racetrack. Most of the turns are predominantly right-handed, so the cars are biased that way.
He made a good run through that turn 6, the left-hander. It'll be close.
We know if I need to run another.
Just a tick short for Menard.
You're all good.
And you see Brian Scott slotting in third.
All of those RCR cars right there, second, third, and fourth at this point in time.
Paul Menard was able to do that on his first time lap, so he has one less lap on his tires than Joey Logano for this session coming up.
There's Matt Kenseth. We saw have some difficulties yesterday in the practice. The team had to do a little work fixing up the back end of that 20 machine, and as he comes to post a lap, we check with Doc.
Absolutely, Alan. Yesterday in practice, he went out and at the end of his very first lap, they had a brake bias issue. The rear brakes got up to temperature very quickly, and there was more bias there than they realized. He went into turn 7, the hard right-hander, and the car bounced off the wall, mostly cosmetic damage. But the other issue they dealt with was a carburetor problem that cost him an hour of practice yesterday. Matt Kenseth, very little practice in the Nationwide car. And by the way, he hasn't been here to run the Nationwide race since 2008, so these are some laps he desperately wants on the racetrack.
And a carburetor issue, these cars still run carburetors. They're not fuel injected like the Sprint Cup cars. And so they predominantly race with left-hand turns, and all these carburetors and fuel systems are set up that way. And this is the track, like I said, it's all right-hand turns, and it's really hard to get that carburetor to have the right, the fuel levels be correct for both right and left-hand turns. I remember coming here, and it's usually within just one little bit of the adjustment to get it either a little too high or a little too low.
And I can tell you, although the damage to the race car was cosmetic, internally to the driver, it does get in your mind, because this is very difficult, 7 turns plus the inner loop. And when you spin somewhere, and doesn't matter even if you hit anything or not, and they were fortunate enough to mess up the car, but it works on your mind, because realize, again, the difficulty. Turn 7 is probably, most of the time, one of the more simple corners that you're going to face here. And when you have a problem there, you realize it could jump up and bite you anywhere.
Here's Elliott Sadler. Looking to post the number. Starting his first time lap right now.
Talking to Elliott a little bit, he struggling, trying to find some speed out of this car. He said, you know, I just driving hard and just don't know what I got to do to get that extra time that we're looking for. Important race for this team, though, here this afternoon to stay in the championship battle.
Elliott third in points, 12 points behind Chase Elliott, the championship leader. And as was mentioned earlier, this critical, pivotal two-race stretch for the Nationwide Series here at Watkins Glen. Next week on the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, you can throw away a lot of points to the competition with a bad two-week stretch here. Even just one of the 2 weeks, you're going to get 20 to 25 cars minimum finish on the lead lap in these two races.
Yeah, Elliott's usually pretty solid at these and minimizing damage. Last 5 road courses, he's finished in the top 10, so that shows you that he's really good at taking care of the equipment and making the right decisions. But that's going to be a difficult challenge for them to run in the top 10. You know, you've got a lot of Cup drivers here today in this. You're going to have to be solid throughout the day. As we watch Elliott here, watch a little bit of his footwork, but he is solid. He does a really good job of taking care of things and being there at the end.
Little clutch there. Ninth. Brendan Gaughan and Kyle Busch together on the track. Brendan, the winner at Road America in the first of this year's 3 road course events for the NASCAR Nationwide Series. And Kyle cracking the top 12 in 7th.
You can see Kyle get in there pretty hot. You can see the smoke. Yeah. He locked up the brakes trying to get there.
That's one thing you don't want to do in this session because it'll flat spot that tire, that inside front tire, and affect your lap coming up in the next session.
I'm hearing that Kyle might have blown the inner loop on that lap, and that number won't count. Well, then and he's going to have to do it again.
They
so
said
now
they didn't count that lap because he went straight through the bus stop.
We talked to NASCAR this morning. They said if you go through that bus stop, right that area where the chicane is, and don't come to a complete stop, that your lap will not count. Right here, that come.
He's already given up this lap anyway, but let's check it out.
You know, one thing that these guys tempting to, especially on your speed, your get up to speed lap, which it doesn't really count, to go through there thinking you might find a better spot on the track. But they have been told explicitly that they have to run the entire course.
And the crew chiefs were told this, and they are told to tell their drivers, and
I'm sure they did.
Sometimes maybe the drivers don't comprehend all that they're told.
I thought you were going to say sometimes the crew chiefs don't tell them, but they do.
Brad Keselowski, absolutely positively one to watch, has been stellar here at Watkins Glen in both series, the Nationwide Series and the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Figure for him to be a factor both Saturday and Sunday.
He's fun to watch attack this track. He gets himself in position, but just really goes after it hard. I think that's just a solid lap that he's put in there.
Yeah, that should be a lap he can just shut it down and save it for the next session.
Chase Elliott on track.
See, he's in 16th at this point. He needs to try to pick it up a little bit to try to make the cutoff.
So Chase Elliott 15th there, not inside the top 12. Elliott Sadler a minute ago had some contact on the racetrack. 74 car is Roger Roos, an SCCA sports car racer, former oval track racer whose brother made his nationwide debut at Road America, and
it's kind of things that we talked about that we could possibly see happen here, especially when you have that mix of people that you're not sure about, you know, of how people that you could race with before. And think Elliott thought that he was going to be given plenty of room there. And with a regular racer in the Nationwide Series, probably would have. But the things that you have to encounter here.
So Sadler sits right now in the 12th position. And still got plenty of time to go in this first 30-minute session for the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Wrestling these race cars around this very fast and very tricky Watkins Glen course.
Pennzoil has reimagined a motor oil made from natural gas, a full synthetic that helps protect against the loss of fuel economy. Designed for complete protection, Pennzoil Platinum with Pure Plus technology. Motor oil reimagined.
The Beam family has a long history of doing things their own way. In fact, they age every drop of Jim Beam twice as long as the law requires for a true Kentucky straight bourbon. So, 4 long years from now, I'll be back for this one. That's how Jim Beam makes history. How will you make yours?
Introducing the messy look from Axe Styling. Mix, rake, spin. Upgrade to Axe Messy Look Gel, the easy way to superior style.
Do you belong in this circle? Under the 1,800-watt glow of stadium lights? Can you withstand the pressure and go nose to nose with a Sprint Cup driver? And keep your wits about you at every turn? Round and round you go, and when you'll rise, nobody knows.
If you sign up for DirecTV's latest deal, prepare to be blindsided. Because they'll double your rate before you know it. And you'll find you're locked into a 2-year contract that could cost you over $3,000 bucks. That's why the smart choice is Xfinity. You can see all the best action in football all season long, with no surprises. Don't get blindsided by DirecTV. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
My husband worked at a power plant where the asbestos fell like snow.
My dad got mesothelioma from asbestos.
Oh, the diagnosis was devastating.
We chose Cooney & Conway because they're highly experienced in this area.
They were more than lawyers. They were human beings.
There was no money up front.
It showed my sons that there is justice in the world.
Call 1-800-322-5573. Cooney & Conway. Justice with a passion.
Us again.
Big weekend series in the National League East. Tomorrow night on ESPN, Jason Worth and the division-leading Nationals are in Atlanta to face Freddie Freeman and the Braves. It's Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell, the Washington Nationals and the Atlanta Braves at 8 Eastern on ESPN and live on Watch ESPN. Braves finally got off that long losing streak last night.
Lost 8 in a row, but gets the leaders in that division. Got a win last night.
Marcos Ambrose back on track, trying to stay away from the bubble and going to the top of the board.
Say that'll do it.
P1 by 210.
New track record there for Marcos Ambrose.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to show everybody everything in that first lap, but he had to go back out. Uh-oh.
James Busher at the pit entrance off the last corner.
Still loose.
Explain that.
And this would detail it.
Yeah, I talked about this not being one of the more difficult points. Actually, you want to carry a lot of speed there. You use a little bit of brake, but you're trying to get back to the gas so quickly there, and it can be a handful.
You know, this racetrack is not the widest out there between the barriers, and to get away with a spin and not hit anything on either side.
Yeah, pretty fortunate. Or really good. I don't know which one it is, but
yeah, you talk about that turn not being all that difficult, but it is important to the lap to carry that speed off the corner down the main straightaway. So you're trying to carry all the momentum you can.
So James Busher having to regroup. He's got the 16th fastest lap. Now Kyle Busch is back on pit road, cooling down the 54 car, yet to post an actual time. We saw earlier him running through that inner loop, and then this communication.
They said no matter when you go through the bus stop, you go through it, you have to come to complete stop and take back off again. We're just trying to get confirmation on that.
As bold as everybody goes through it when they're coming in, I think they need to have driver's meetings for qualifying now. They've never heard of that before. I've always skipped the bus stop on qualifying.
Well, NASCAR officials telling us this morning in a meeting that information was sent around to all of the teams that you must use the entire track for every lap that you're out there during qualifying. So Kyle Busch, after those missed inner loops, came back in. They hooked the car up to the cool down. Then they came to the understanding that they owed officials a pass-through penalty for missing the inner loop. So they unhooked it, went back out, did the pass-through. Now they're back on the pit lane, cooling it down. And as the clock ticks away toward the end of the qualifying session, he's going to have a lap or so to crack the top 12.
You can see how this really impacts his qualifying. So NASCAR said that they made sure that the crew chiefs knew this rule. They made them actually sign a paper that said that they understood the rule and they were going to pass the information on to the driver. So it's not really a miscommunication with NASCAR. They've made it pretty clear what the rule is.
So watching the clock tick, watching the tire pressures, watching the engine temperatures, and deciding when to send that 54 car back out to get it done. This is Matt DiBenedetto on track, on a lap, trying to improve. See if he can find a way into the top 12. See Elliott Sadler is the bubble driver at the moment.
Dale, it's like a fine line on these road courses. You have to attack the racetrack, but it's so easy to overdrive the track. So, I mean, how do you manage that edge?
Yeah, you kind of have to pick and choose your battles, so to speak. You've got these 7 corners, you've got the inner loop. So where is it that I can make up the most time that I really need to attack, and others that I just need to maintain what I have? And because of some changes they've made to this track recently, the inner loop being one of those. Nothing much has changed right here. That's through turn 1, entering turn 2, and then going up through the S's. Not much of that has changed. You can attack that part, and you have to be wide open up through the S's to make a really, really good lap. Then as you get to the inner loop, they've cut down a curbing that used to be there quite a bit. They're able to straighten that out a lot, which is carrying a lot more speed through there than what they have recently, and so that's going to create some issues. So that is a place you have to attack, but you pay a big penalty there because we've seen a lot of cars out of shape.
Elliott Sadler on the bubble for making the advancement to the final round of qualifying, back out on the racetrack. This is a warm-up lap for Elliott.
And we talked about that the tires don't really give up a lot here. You can make multiple runs and be okay. Elliott now on an oval may have chose to sit and wait and see if that time was going to hold up. Here he knows he can go back out there and get a little bit more out of the car, and it's not going to affect as he gets into the next round.
This is Kenny Hubble out of the Charlotte area now. Native of Australia. We've seen Kenny in the road races for the NASCAR Nationwide Series the last couple of years. He drove for the Joe Gibbs team at Road America. This back in the equipment he's been driving last year. And wrestling it around, not able to advance into the top 12. Looks like we're getting ready to see that 54 again, Mike.
Yeah, you are, and they've taken some time here on pit road to let the car cool down, trying to make sure that all the temps come down to qualifying range. They did have a good understanding of how fast, or how slow, I should say, the car was. They weren't happy at all with the lap they did put up that did not officially stand. So they made some adjustments to the car. Right side air pressure adjustment. It also looks like a little bit of a wedge adjustment. The cool down unit has been removed. Kyle's backing out of his pit stall, headed back down pit road out onto the racetrack now.
We've seen him have his hands full in that inner loop all throughout practice during the weekend. So be interesting to see what kind of a number Kyle is able to put up here. Elliott Sadler does not improve his time on that lap. but stays in 12th position. Chase Elliott is on the racetrack trying to bump his way in. Trevor Bayne is also headed out to try and bump his way in. Here's Elliott. Slightly slower. Slightly. Chase Elliott moves up one spot, but needed two. Kyle Larson. Kyle ran a 1:12.22 earlier. This one is a 1:12.26. So slightly slower for Larson.
Yeah, that was the drivers 11, 12, and 13 that we just showed you there trying to make it. Trevor Bayne, who's in 14th, is out on the track getting up to speed now, as is Kyle Busch here.
Green flag for Kyle, what would be the beginning of his first timed lap. 4 minutes left in the session. Trevor Bayne's behind him. And Trevor is starting the timed lap also there.
Kyle Busch having a good start to his lap.
So here comes the part of the racetrack that's been such a handful for Kyle and everybody else this weekend.
Yeah, we'll see him cut across here and straighten this out quite a bit as he goes into the inner loop here. Now, the curbage not much there. You can hear him really working the throttle right there.
And look at the green compared to Ambrose.
Yeah.
10th quicker than Ambrose at that point.
See just how good Ambrose was here through turns 6 and 7. There'll be a downshift coming here. Wow, what a lap.
Goodness. That'll lower the track record.
Yeah.
I think that was
real good. Shut her down.
Here, take that.
7106. You won.
Kyle Larson bumped Chris Buescher. Dylan Kwasniewski also jumping into the top 12 here in the late stages. Elliott Sadler is bumped. Elliott with that lap not able to get back in. Two minutes left in the session. And now it is Chris Buescher who's on the bubble in the 60. Here's his teammate, Trevor Bayne. Pretty well off pace there. Trevor not able to move up and get back into the top 12. I've never driven a lap in a race car here at Watkins Glen, but coming up the hill there, cresting where you're making that left-right, that looks like it must be an absolute tingle up your spine every time.
Yeah, it really is. It's most exciting part of this racetrack, I believe, is where you're just carrying that speed. You got the left front up one time, the right front up another time. That you got to stay in the gas and grab some gears. A lot of fun.
Now, it's not going to be fast enough to get it done, and looks like Trevor Bayne will start this race from outside of the top 12.
Yeah, you heard him say that's all he has. He could make another lap. He made it to the line before the flags flew, but probably not able to go any quicker.
So Kyle Busch, after all of the difficulties earlier in the qualifying session with the inner loop and to stop or not to stop and the pass-through penalty and all that, comes out and sets a new track record and is going to have the fast time through round 1 of knockout qualifying. No surprise, it's Kyle Busch and Marcos Ambrose with the top 2 spots. And the Penske 12 that's won the pole here for the last 2 years, sitting third with Joey Logano. So just one car on the racetrack here left, and that is Brennan Newberry. And here you are with the times from round 1 of knockout qualifying. New track record for Kyle Busch.
He set a mark there that probably got the attention of the rest of these if they're going to try to beat him here in the next session.
So you saw the 12 in advance, and the rest of the cars now who will not make it to the second round, including championship contenders Elliott Sadler, Chase Elliott, and on down through the 39 cars that are here at Watkins Glen for today's race. So round 1 of knockout qualifying is over. Hopping the curbs, zigging and zagging. What a challenge here at the Glen.
This is Kathleen. Setting up the perfect wedding day begins with her arthritis pain and 2 pills. Afternoon arrives and feeling good, but her knee pain returns. That's 2 more pills. The evening's event brings laughter, joy, and more pain. When Jamie says,
"What's that, like 6 pills today?" Yeah. I can take 2 Aleve for all-day relief. Really? And that's it.
this is Kathleen.
For my arthritis pain, I now choose Aleve.
Get all-day arthritis pain relief with an easy open cap.
Cap.
Aha!
Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks.
To the trailblazers, the heavy lifters. Just for Men does more than get rid of gray. Your facial hair looks fuller, thicker, the best beard ever. After all, you're not just a champion of Saturday afternoons. You're a champion of facial hair. Just for Men mustache and beard.
KFC $5 fill-up. Couple pieces of chicken, gigantic mashed potatoes. A biscuit and a cookie and a drink. You can eat the cookie first if you want. If you feel that way. It's your choice. It's amazing. Every summer, my Nana sends me a check for $5. It's a pain to cash, but when I do, I can buy all of this for $5. I need to write her a thank you letter.
Yeah, you probably should have done that way long ago. Let's chow down.
Spork.
To those who still find the taste of 5-Hour Energy a little strong, don't miss the 5-Hour Energy $100,000 Yummification Contest. Mix 5-Hour Energy with your favorite beverage. Yummification. Name it. Shoot it. Send us the video. Yummification. You could win a share of $100,000.
For rules and requirements, go to 5hourYummification.com.
The 5-Hour Energy Yummification Contest.
It's delicious.
First of 2 sessions, NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying's done here at Watkins Glen, and got a couple of sessions of NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying still to go. That's at 11:30 Eastern today here on ESPN2. The race coverage this afternoon for the Nationwide Series over on ABC starting at 2 Eastern time. Who will be the king of the Glen today? Will it be Ambrose or Keselowski or Logano or Busch or somebody else? We'll find out later today on ABC. Tomorrow's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race starts with NASCAR Countdown at noon Eastern on ESPN as the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series runs what has been one of the highlight races of the season the last few years, the wild, slug it out to the finish road course event here in upstate New York. So top 12 getting ready for round 2 of knockout qualifying. Everybody else left to ponder. Mike?
Yeah, one of those guys is Trevor Bayne, just outside the cutoff, 16th on the speed chart after that first session. How would you describe that win?
Well, that's about all I had, I guess. At least I think it is. The first run was okay. I tried to go up behind Kyle, and then he went through the bus stop, so I had nobody to follow. Normally it's good to have a rabbit to chase at a road course. I told him not a dang cheetah. He was flying. So I don't know. It was okay. The car was just sliding around a little bit more than I needed it to be. Part of that's my fault, not being a road racer. Sometimes tracks like Watkins Glen, where you have a lot of transitions, left, right, left, road race guys know how to settle the car down. Us oval guys are just used to turning one way, so when you have to transition, we kind of pitch the cars a little bit too much, and I kind of did that a little bit. So we'll start 16th, but I think we got a better race car than that. Surprised at how much these guys picked up today. They've really been going fast, so I thought we were going to qualify a little bit better, but we should definitely race good.
Alan, he's got a bit of a challenge with the road course this afternoon, but he does go into the race with a bit of confidence. He won a dirt modified race not too far from here last night.
Yeah. Anyway, any trophy's a good trophy in racing, that's for sure. Trevor been on a little bit of a roll here lately and creeping back into the championship picture. He's 5th in the standings, 41 points out. But he's got to get through this next 2-week stretch of road course racing to stay in contact, to have a chance to fight for the championship in South Florida in late November.
Yeah, I'm married. Doesn't matter. You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis.
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so.
Another reason more people stay with State Farm. Get to a better state.
Little Caesar's lunch combo is ready when you walk in, so it's perfect for busy people. Isn't that right, busy people?
Yes!
Get 4 slices of hot and ready deep dish plus a soda for just $5. Little Caesar's, world's easiest way to pizza.
Pizza. So tell me about that AT&T Best Ever Family pricing thing.
It's 10 gigs of data to share with unlimited talk and text, and for a family of 4, that's $160 a month.
$160 a month? Sign us up.
Maybe we sign you up at the store after this.
Right, because this is the food court.
Yeah, it's the food court.
AT&T's best ever family pricing. For instance, a family of 4 gets 10 gigs of data with unlimited talk and text for $160 a month.
Introducing the spiked up look from Axe Styling. Mix, rake, twist.
Hi.
Terrific. Upgrade to Axe Spiked Up Look Gel, the easy way to superior style.
Where you want your first scratch, Craig? Your choice.
What are you doing with that key, Jake?
I'm thinking of scratching your car.
Well, you should stop thinking that.
You're a little bit too precious with it.
Don't touch my dart, Jake.
Come on, it's for your own good. You'll thank me later. Move out of the way so you don't get hurt. I mean it. It's gonna happen.
Jake.
Might as well be from a
Step
friend.
back, Jake.
Tomorrow, the race to the all-new Chase returns to the Glen, where wild finishes are the norm and playoff hopes hang in the balance. Watkins Glen, tomorrow at noon on ESPN.
Every night when I fall asleep, I dream of being a knight in shining armor. A good guy. A hero. I dream of being a race car driver.
The most storied conference in college athletics has a new home. ESPN brings you the SEC Network. Launching August 14th, over 1,000 exclusive live events, including 45 football games and 24/7 coverage of all 21 conference sports. Go to GetSECNetwork.com and let your TV provider know you don't want to miss out on the action. August 14th. My provider's already signed up, so I'm all set to go. Hope yours is too. Championship leader did not transfer to the final round of knockout qualifying today, Doc.
Chase Elliott did not. He's 15th overall. Chase, a couple of times you went out to run. What kind of issues were you facing?
Just lack of a driver, I think, right now. Car seems to be fine. Just can't, just been struggling to find speed myself, so hopefully I can fix that in the race.
What part of this course do you consider the biggest challenge for you as a rookie here?
Well, apparently all of them for me. To need a second, that's needing a little bit of time in every corner, so I'm sure some corners more than others, but I guess all of them for me right now.
Chase Elliott said he needs some experience. I think he'll be okay when the race comes up. AB?
Only the 3rd time Chase hasn't transferred to the final round of knockout qualifying this season. Today will be number 3 for number 9. Last moments of the first round of qualifying today. Tanner Berryhill had an interesting moment at a very high-speed part of the course.
Yeah, this is going to be a part of the race course today that we're going to see a lot of this happen, kicking a lot of grass up there, getting on the grill. Fortunately, in the race, that's going to be an issue, but they've got it cleaned up for these 12 to go after it again here.
In great detail. That's a great look at just what gets kicked up onto the racetrack when you see the grass and so on, but all the little pebbles and things like that you might not be able to pick up against the pavement. That great camera shot showing you just what does get kicked out onto the racetrack that might cause a caution to be thrown for debris cleanup, and you say, well, why? It's just grass. Well, it's not. So, most likely the winner at Watkins Glen is going to come from this group that's going to head back out onto the racetrack for a final 10-minute qualifying session. So, make your pick. Ambrose, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, or other.
Well, I would have picked Ambrose, but after that lap I saw from Kyle Busch, that's showing he's got a lot of speed.
I don't know if they got him out of the car and slapped him around a little bit here again to make him mad, but if he's that mad for this next one, he's going to be hard to handle right there. That was a great lap, especially with everything that they'd been through, for the driver to get his mind focused back. But the one thing I think he probably didn't intend to run that type of lap, but knowing that they really just had one shot at it, he had to go kind of throw everything at it. But certainly going to make the others have to step their game up if they're going to contend.
Well, that's the one thing he did. He showed Marcus Ambrose and these other top contenders for the pole what it's going to take. So they're going to have to really make a commitment on their lap to get the pole.
Track's open, 10 minutes. 12 cars. And pole position at stake. As you talked about earlier, Andy, about track position being so important to give your crew chief all the strategy options he can have.
Well, for this group, they've placed themselves at least in the top 12, but you really want to, if you have a chance to win this thing, you want to be in the top half of that. So we'll see some guys really lay it out here.
I was looking down there, that yellow blend line right there, that'll come into effect more in the race, but they have to stay below that here too. Saw some yesterday just jump out on the racetrack, and if they went outside of that, then their time was not allowed. So
actually had one car in that opening session penalized for that blend line violation. Derek Cope had to come make a pass-through penalty for jumping out there too quickly. Interesting watching people try and space themselves out off the pit lane. Ambrose and Kyle Busch and a couple others kind of hanging back. Ty Dillon there, Regan Smith. Well, these other guys on a flying lap may catch these guys still getting up to speed if they don't space it just right.
Yeah, you have to be careful with that, and you certainly don't want that to happen. We heard Trevor Bayne talk about kind of having a rabbit out there. Sometimes that's good. Other times it's not. You get yourself paying attention too much to that car, and next thing you know, you're 5 or 6 feet past your mark, and that can create a big issue for you.
Joey Logano. Will be first to the green flag. Penske power certainly been a factor in pole position and race wins here at Watkins Glen recently. 3 straight poles. Logano or Keselowski not winning any of them. Remember, they had Kurt Busch in the car here a couple of times, and last year Sam Hornish winning pole position.
I think that's the part of the track right there that's going to determine who our pole sitter is going to be. It's just so fast through there, and if you can control that and get through this turn 5 now, I believe that's the part of the track that you have to win the pole in.
And everybody's taken the green flag. Regan Smith just crossed start finish. So clear track here for Logano. And now we'll begin to see the results come up.
Faster than what Logano ran in the first session, but not as fast as Kyle Busch ran.
Kyle ran a 1:11 flat. There's Brad Keselowski.
A little quicker than Ambrose was and Kyle Busch in the first session.
Kyle on the green flag coming around here to complete a timed lap.
He's certainly going to have to set another track record if he's to get the pole here.
Third, here comes Ambrose. Third. Another one.
Oh, he was in good shape till there.
Little bobble, going to cost him some time.
You call that little?
Well, 0.079, I'll call that little. This might have been a little bit bigger than that in the seat. Hey, Kyle Busch has never been on the pole for a nationwide race here. Got to pick it up.
One of the few places he hasn't won a nationwide race. Though he does have a couple of Sprint Cup wins here at the Glen.
Always in the mix here, though.
Yes.
You have to kind of think back to all the problems he had in the first session and all the laps he had to run on the car that it could have affected, the time, the laps on the tires and everything else for this session for Kyle Busch, because he ran his fastest lap at the end of that. Or actually the only lap he ran in the first session.
Here's Regan Smith. Does not improve his time on that lap, but still solid qualifying effort for the native of the Syracuse area here in New York.
Yeah, the nationwide guys, this is really who I'm going to keep an eye on today. I think certainly the Cup guys here, they're going to be hard to handle, but Regan Smith ran so well at Road America until we had moisture on the track, and then we had a lot of rain on it, but he wasn't quite as good after that. But when the track was dry, he was as good as anybody there. This could be a chance for him to have a great points day, maybe even take the lead back if things go the way that I think they can for Regan Smith.
Here's the only driver that hasn't posted a time yet of the 12 that transferred, Dylan Kwasniewski. Carrying that left front tire through the inner loop. I love that. See well off Brad Keselowski's pace for pole position.
Brad laid a lap down. They grabbed the track record to play for Kyle Busch. Just a little bit quicker than the lap he ran in the first session.
So there is Kwasniewski in 11th spot. I was wondering if Ambrose was going to take another shot at pole position, but he's out of the car, so he's done there in 4th spot. And Brad Keselowski, track record fashion, the #1 spot in that 22.
You can see he hasn't taken his helmet off yet. He's going to make sure that nobody goes out there and tries to beat his lap, but he'll be ready to run another one. Still, 3 minutes and 10 seconds left.
Brad, the winner here last year, and it seems like I flip back through my notes of the last few races at each track before we come here, and each time that he's in the field Saturday and every Sunday race here at Watkins Glen for the last few years, Brad is in the mix for the win at the end of the day, if not the winner.
Yeah, he's just really become a solid road racer, and he's finished second the last 3 times in the Cup Series here.
Never won a road course series pole. I mean, a road course pole in any series. Showing his maturity now.
Today. We won't be able to say that anymore.
Nope. He's got this one.
Marcus Ambrose out of his car, Mike.
Yeah, out of his car. Didn't win the pole, but a solid qualifying effort. What do you think?
Yeah, we enjoyed that qualifying session. We had a pretty fast car there. We've got second row start, so we've got something we can work with. I got to tell you, those Penske cars are pretty fast in the front row there, but I think we've got something for them for the race.
It's been 3 years since you've been in a nationwide race here, but your winning streak is still intact. Can you extend it to 4 in a row?
Going to try. going to try my hardest to try and do that this afternoon, but just got to thank Stanley for the opportunity to come out here in the nationwide race, and this has been a great track for me, and hopefully this afternoon will be equally as good.
Well, he won't start on the pole, but he'll be real close to the front when they throw the green flag this afternoon, Alan.
Well, Marcos has been the man here at Watkins Glen when he's been in the field. 2010, the last time he entered the Nationwide Series race here, so Marcos back in the picture, and we'll see if he's in victory lane holding another Watkins Glen trophy at the end of the day. Brad Keselowski is back out on the racetrack in the 22 car. That's kind of curious, Doc.
Yeah, Brad said in the car they kept telling him they were keeping an eye on the 09 of Ambrose. They told him Ambrose out of the car. They told him Kyle Busch was running a lap. Then they heard Joey Logano say, I could have had the pole, but I messed up over there in turn 7. We've got the car to get the pole. And then Brad saw the 20 head out that Matt Kenseth's car head back on the racetrack. He said, you know what? We probably should be out here in case we have to run another lap. And Brad thinks, based on what he saw in his first lap, he may be able to run even better if he has to in the next 40 seconds or so.
Matt Kenseth has made the clock. Paul Menard made the clock. These laps count. You see that countdown clock ticking away. Joey Logano coming to the final corner. Wow, Kenseth had his hands full there. Brad Keselowski made the clock. This lap would count. The question is, does Logano top him with the lap he's running now? Logano on the clock. Made it as well. See Matt still down in 10th position as he runs this lap compared to pole sitter Keselowski. Paul Menard behind him. Still 3/10 off.
Got 4 RCR cars though, all lined up together. 6, 7, 8, and 9 right now.
Pushing water there too. So flags are out. Paul Menard does not move up from 6th position. It's a matter of 22 or 12. 12 gets to the finish line first. And I think he just rolled out of it.
I didn't think he had what it was going to take to do that.
Ryan Scott finishes a lap, doesn't move up. So Logano will wind up in 2nd to Brad Keselowski with Kyle Busch in 3rd spot. Mike?
Yeah, and a dramatic qualifying session. I know this is not the way you had it all planned out. You faced some adversity in that first session, but lo and behold, you came back out and set a new track record. Ended up 3rd today. How would you describe this whole thing overall?
It's fine. No big deal. Just, guess need to do a better job understanding all the rules beforehand. But Monster Energy Camry's okay, and we showed we're okay right here, right now. So we'll see how it goes in the race.
Good luck this afternoon.
Yep.
Alan?
Kyle Busch starting 3rd. Behind the Penske teammates. Brad Keselowski, new track record on pole position. His 4th pole of this season, which ties him with Kyle Busch for the most of the year in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. And how about this? He started on the front row in his last 7 starts this season. Wow. There they are, the top 12. Will the winner come from those first 4? Past results say probably, but it's going to be fun finding out how it happens.
How do you do it?
Godzilla's actually pretty cool, except when he's hungry.
Let's throw Snickers.
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
This summer, stay satisfied with Snickers ice cream. Available now.
Pennzoil has reimagined a motor oil made from natural gas, proven to keep pistons cleaner than any leading synthetic, helping to protect against the loss of fuel economy. Designed for complete protection, born from natural gas. Pennzoil Platinum with Pure Plus technology. Motor oil reimagined.
Do it yourself and save with great deals on Pennzoil Platinum at Advance Auto Parts.
There's a man going round taking names, and he decides who to free and who to blame. Everybody won't be treated all the same. There'll be a golden ladder reaching down when the man comes around. Hear the trumpets, hear the pipers.
This summer. This is our secret weapon. I know what it's capable of.
Who's gonna drive it?
I am.
He's getting away.
We'll see about that.
Never underestimate a man in a Ford truck.
Buy a new F-150 and get total savings up to $8,000 during the Summer Spectacular Sales Event. Now playing at your California Ford dealer.
If you're like me, you've been working like a dog all year. But you don't need to camp out to Labor Day to reward yourself. Mattress Discounters Labor Day sale is on now. Rest those tired bones on a queen-size Serta mattress and box spring set. Right now, they're just $397. Get 48 months interest-free financing on the entire Tempur-Pedic Cloud collection. Not to labour the point, but this sale won't last long.
Mattress Discounters.
NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying wrapped up here at Watkins Glen. Looking ahead to this afternoon's race, and here's how they ran. New track record in an all-Penske front row, Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano.
Certainly got those Fords fast once again. I think the RCR cars, good showing there for them, all in the top 10.
Dylan Kwasniewski and Chris Buescher were good qualifying runs.
There's championship leader Chase Elliott back in row number 8 for today's race. Matt DiBenedetto had his best result in the Nationwide Series season back at Road America in June. He'll start in row number 11, hoping to have similar results. And the rest of the starting grid for today's 200-miler. Joey Logano set a new track record. It didn't get him the pole, though. Someone else topped him by just that much, Doc.
Exactly, and Joey, so close. I mean, you set a new track record. Looked like you were sailing toward the pole, and then turn 7. Take us through what happened up there.
Yeah, I screwed up. We had a really good snap on 4. Both Team Penske cars are obviously great. First off, having both cars on front row, that says a lot for everyone back at the shop, so I appreciate all the hard work there. You came over here, Doc, and you said you had him by a 10.5 till you got to 11 over there. I think you guys call it 7. And I knew that's where I lost it all, but I didn't need to hear that.
Okay, you were really slow then. Okay, no, but you had a great lap going. Did you have a mechanical issue, or did the car just break free?
I can't hear you. These cars are really loud, but it's just mechanically I just got loose. Tried to hustle it through there. I knew I had a good lap going and tried to hustle it through and got loose once, and still tried to hustle, got loose again, had to lift out by the wall. And, just lost too much momentum to the end there, but still good enough for second, but second doesn't give you a trophy or anything, so we'll just have to try to make it happen in the race.
All right, Joey Logano starts second. Alan?
Doc, Joey's teammate Brad Keselowski is your pole position winner. We'll hear from Brad shortly here at Watkins Glen. And don't forget Sprint Cup qualifying still to come.
Morning, John.
Ricky?
Man, I've been sleepy lately.
How come the decaf then?
This isn't decaf.
Dude, are you colorblind?
No.
Introducing the clean cut look from Axe Styling. Mix, rake, comb.
Hi.
Delightful. Upgrade to Axe Clean Cut Look Gel, the easy way to superior style.
Energy! Energy, energy, energy! It's inside of all of us.
Even Gary here.
Baraka has guarana and caffeine to support mental sharpness. Early morning meeting? No problem. Plus, Baraka has B vitamins to support physical energy. Some assembly required. Ah, cherish memory. I'm bringing down the house. 2 things. 1 package. Baraka!
KFC $5 fill-up. Couple pieces of chicken, gigantic mashed potatoes. A biscuit and a cookie and a drink. You can eat the cookie first if you want. If you feel that way. It's your choice. It's amazing. Every summer, my Nana sends me a check for $5. It's a pain to cash, but when I do, I can buy all of this for $5. I need to write her a thank you letter. Yeah, you probably should have done that way long ago. Let's chow down. Spork.
Chase Elliott, tearing up the track in the Napa 9 car. It's hard to believe you're only 18.
You guys even remember what it was like when you were 18?
Meh.
Really?
No, not at all.
I do. I was awesome.
Whether you're a rookie, veteran, or a legend, conquer the job with Napa Know-How.
These trucks aren't for show. No. These are work trucks. They carry a heavy load. They're pushed to their limits. Bumped, battered, and abused. So if they have a few scratches at the end of the day, that's okay. It's all in a good day's work.
Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, drivers of the Penske's 22 and 12. Sharing the front row for today's race, those same 2 team cars fighting for the win last year here at Watkins Glen. It was Keselowski driving the 22, Sam Hornish driving the 12, Logano driving the 48. In the end, a 1-2 for 22 and 12. Brad Keselowski, the winner at Watkins Glen a year ago. Brad will lead him to the green from pole position today here at Watkins Glen. Doc?
And Brad Kay trying to make his way through the fans and stopping, as always, to sign autographs to some of the fans. Headed over to get the pole award. We'll walk up here beside Brad as he heads over where he hopes to be later today in Victory Lane. And Brad, congratulations. 4th pole of the year, 4th straight pole for Penske at Watkins Glen here in the Nationwide Series. Take us through those laps. You made it look easy.
Well, no, it's definitely not easy. Been a handful, Doc, but the Hertz team, 22 Nationwide team, did a great job. Ford's been really fast since we've been here. Marcus is really fast. A teammate, Joe Logano, he almost knocked me off. So we've got 3 great Fords, and I think we've got a great shot at winning today, and hopefully we can keep it rolling.
I know you've led the most laps the last 2 years in a row here. We just showed the folks you won here a year ago. A lot of competition in today's race. Who worries you the most this afternoon when you go to green here in the Nationwide Series?
I think any one of the top 4 cars can win the race. Marcos has won 3 in a row here. I think 08, 09, and 10. And, Kyle, he runs really well here, won the Cup race last year. And my teammate, Joey Logano, is really coming in his own as well. So any one of those 3 could be the guy to beat. And it's hard to pick just one, but we know we're definitely not in for a walk in the park.
Hey, congratulations on your pole and good luck today.
Hey, thank you, Doc. Appreciate it.
Brad Keselowski, 4th pole of the year, 4 consecutive poles here, AB, for Penske Racing. I think they're pretty good here at this place.
Yeah, they've got something going on. Of course, anytime that 22 car rolls out on the racetrack, it's been a threat, especially at road courses. Think of all the different drivers that have won races with the Jeremy Bullen's prepared machine beneath them. It's good stuff.
They have a good package here, that's for sure.
Brad Keselowski driving that car today will start from the number 1 spot. More to come from Watkins Glen.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, don't look now. It's turtleneck Tommy.
You know what? I'll take that jalapeno double.
Jalapeno.
Surprisingly cool with twice the kick. The new jalapeno double on McDonald's Dollar Menu and more. Topped with crispy and pickled jalapenos plus creamy ranch sauce. Just $2 for now, so get it while it's hot.
Tommy, do you mind if I stare at you? Sit with you?
There's something bold for everyone to love at McDonald's.
You owned your car for 4 years. You named it Brad. You loved Brad. And then you totaled him. You two had been through everything together. 2 boyfriends, 3 jobs. You're like, nothing can replace Brad. Then Liberty Mutual calls. And you break into your happy dance.
If you sign up for better car replacement, we'll pay for a car that's a model year newer with 15,000 fewer miles than your old one. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
The Beam family has a long history of doing things their own way. In fact, they age every drop of Jim Beam twice as long as the law requires for a true Kentucky straight bourbon. So, 4 long years from now, I'll be back for this one. That's how Jim Beam makes history. How will you make yours?
To those who still find the taste of 5-Hour Energy a little strong, don't miss the 5-Hour Energy $100,000 gamification contest. Mix 5-Hour Energy with your favorite beverage. Gamification. Name it. Shoot it. Send us the video. Gamification. You could win a share of $100,000.
For rules and requirements, go to 5hourgamification.com.
The 5-Hour Energy Gamification Contest.
It's delicious.
Oh, you got it! I love the looks of it.
Nobody touches my Dodge Dart, Jake Johnson.
Not even your best friend / neighbor?
No one.
Still get in, Craig.
Like to see you try.
All I'd have to do is roll in, dude.
Let's see it.
I choose not to right now.
Come on, Indiana.
Come on, let me in. Let me in.
Mm-mm.
Let me sit in the car.
Don't touch my dog.
Back live at Watkins Glen. Yep, that time of the year. Preseason football's underway. Youth football's going on. And fantasy football is going on. Last night here at the track, fantasy football draft was held. And if you followed the ESPN radio auction, benefit the V Foundation, seeking a cure for cancer, an opportunity was auctioned off for people to be part of this league and this draft. This is Dale Jr.'s league with all of his fellow friends and competitors. Casey Kane, we saw Austin Dillon in there. There's Regan Smith in the orange hat. And Matthew Berry, part of it as well, on the left there from ESPN. I don't know if Mike Massaro has made his fantasy draft yet, but Ty Dillon has. Mike?
I have not drafted my team yet. I'm still contemplating who I should pick first. I know you were at that draft last night, Ty. Who'd you pick first?
I was first overall pick, so I got Adrian Peterson. I didn't want to jinx myself. He's been pretty good the last couple of years, but I got a pretty stout team, and it was a cool deal that Dale Jr. put on for the Jimmy V Foundation, and it's a great cause to do something a little bit fun. We all love fantasy football. I'm a huge football fan, so I had to watch my Carolina Panthers at the same time. But it was a really cool event. Matthew Berry and Stefania Bell were there, and to get a little insight from those guys was really cool.
I can attest he is a big football fan. One of my video monitor operators is wearing a Buffalo Bills hat right now, and Ty made fun of him a little bit earlier. Let's talk about qualifying now. You made it to the second session, and you qualified top 10. Overall, how would you assess it?
I think it was a success for us. Being it's my first race here in the Nationwide Insurance Series, it was a great qualifying run. We had some issues yesterday in the second practice. We were running out of fuel coming up through the S's at the bottom of the hill, and seemed to never get it fixed, so we changed a lot of things over just to try and take that mistake or whatever was happening away. The qualifying went well. Our car handled great, and we had lots of speed. I love road course racing, and usually have a lot of fun doing this. So glad to have Yingling Light Lager on board, and I'm enjoying Watkins Glen so far.
This can be a very challenging track. We know how fast it is and how tight some of these corners are. What's the biggest challenge for you here?
I think just this track's so fast, and for a road course, being so fast, if you miss one little corner a little bit, you're going to lose a lot of ground. So it's all about being pinpoint precision and not missing your corners and just being consistent over the whole race and not running off the track, staying on track, being consistent, and I think you'll be in the top 5 at the end of the race and have a shot at it.
Certainly has a shot at it, Allen. He'll roll off 8th this afternoon.
Good pick, Adrian Peterson.
Can't go wrong there, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. He didn't go wrong on his qualifying effort either. So Ty Dillon starting in 8th position for this afternoon's race. Beautiful day, a lot of things to do here at the Glen, including NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying that's up in a little while.
check.
Aha!
Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks.
Introducing the messy look from Axe Styling. Mix, rake, spin. Upgrade to Axe Messy Look Gel, the easy way to superior style.
Twins Cliff and Chris Paul made it their pursuit to pass selflessness onto the next generation.
I got it.
On the court, little Chris's signature alley-oop-de-doop drew the attention of local scouts. While off the court, little Cliff assisted neighborhood children from his own State Farm branch. The Pauls knew a little assist goes a long way, no matter who it comes from.
So, you want to be eco-friendly?
Of course.
Okay, got corn?
We got that.
Got someone who's limited to Sunoco Green E15 fuel?
Got it.
Got a car to use that fuel?
Sure do.
Got a way to recycle?
Yep.
Got trees to offset carbon?
Got that.
Got sun to power the sport?
You bet.
Got electric-powered cars?
Yep.
So wait a minute. You cut emissions by 20%, you're the largest recycler in sports, and you use solar power?
Of course we do.
All right. Got a cool earthy logo?
Check this out.
Too cool. Better. Tomorrow. The race to the all-new Chase returns to the Glen, where wild finishes are the norm and playoff hopes hang in the balance. Watkins Glen, tomorrow in...
From the shores of Lake Comanche and Lake Pardee to the scenic vineyards, historic small towns, and rolling hills. Come see what Amador County has to offer.
Amador County. Explore. Discover.
If you sign up for DirecTV's latest deal, prepare to be blindsided. Because they'll double your rate before you know it. And you'll find you're locked into a 2-year contract that could cost you over $3,000. That's why the smart choice is Xfinity. You can see all the best action in football all season long, with no surprises. Don't get blindsided by DirecTV. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Office again.
Rolling out the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series cars for their qualifying. It comes up at the bottom of the hour here on ESPN2. We'll see who gets the pole position for tomorrow's go here at the Glen. Later today, NASCAR Nationwide Series race over on ABC starting at 2 Eastern Time. Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Marcos Ambrose, the first 5, plus the tight fight for the Nationwide Series Championship. All going on later today on ABC. Tomorrow's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race is on ESPN starting at noon Eastern Time. The last few races here at the Glen have been nothing short of spectacular. Expect tomorrow to be also. And that's again at noon Eastern on ESPN.
Don't miss it. It's going to be good.
Somebody going to get that first win of the year.
The prediction there, interesting. Brian Scott looking for a win here today, Mike.
Yeah, he'd love to get his first win of the year here this afternoon. A strong qualifying effort, 7th on the board. I know you had a strong race car in Road America. How much confidence does that give you coming into today?
Yeah, it gives me a lot of confidence. Everybody on the Shore Lodge Camaro worked hard last year to improve our road course program, and we've kind of kept that momentum going. And we had a much better run at Road America than we did last year. I think we can have a lot better run here than we did last year. Just my hat's off to all the guys at ECR, for improving these Chevrolet engines, guys in the body shop and the chassis shop that have made improvements on our road course stuff. We're obviously not quite where the Penske cars are, but we're making gains on them. And who knows, maybe the way these road course races always play out, we can get a little strategy on our side and snooker them that way.
And you heard Brian give a lot of credit to his team. Rightly so. You look at the RCR teams, they are 6, 7, and 8 on the board, Doc.
Absolutely. So a great run by those guys. And yesterday, Regan Smith, our analyst Dale Jarrett, said in a production meeting that Regan Smith's going to qualify well and going to run well this weekend. And you're making him look really good because you qualified 5th. Hey, how confident are you this is going to be a good day for you in the Nationwide Series?
Well, if DJ's that confident, I got to go out there and prove him right, I guess, there. The car's been really good all weekend. just like how it's driving, like what it's doing. I think it's more a matter of me catching up with the car when we come to these places, and the guys have worked hard. Clean coal on it this weekend, so we're excited about that. Home track, I love coming here to race and getting back to upstate New York, and maybe we can keep the pressure on them up there today and get them to make some mistakes and have a good day.
Hey, good luck today.
All right, thanks, Doc.
Alan, he mentioned home track, Cato, New York, where he grew up, just 90 minutes from here. A lot of locals coming to watch the favorite son maybe get his first win on a road course here at Watkins Glen.
Regan ready to go from the 5th starting position today here at the Glen. And in that tight fight for the Nationwide Series Championship, just 2 points behind Chase Elliott starting the day. Back with more in a minute.
Pennzoil has reimagined a motor oil made from natural gas. Proven to keep pistons cleaner than any leading synthetic. Designed for complete protection. Pennzoil Platinum with Pure Plus technology. Motor oil reimagined.
Energy! Energy, energy, energy! It's inside of all of us.
Even Gary here.
Baraka has guarana and caffeine to support mental sharpness.
Oh, yeah.
Early morning meeting? No problem. Plus, Baraka has B vitamins to support physical energy. Some assembly required. Ah, cherish memory. I'm bringing down the house. 2 things. 1 package. Baraka!
KFC $5 fill-up. Couple pieces of chicken, gigantic mashed potatoes.
A biscuit and a cookie and a drink. You can eat the cookie first if you want. If you feel that way.
It's your choice. It's amazing.
Every summer, my Nana sends me a check for $5. It's a pain to cash, but when I do, I can buy all of this for $5. I need to write her a thank you letter.
Yeah, you probably should have done that way long ago. Let's chow down.
Spork.
Introducing the spiked up look from Axe Styling. Mix, rake, twist.
Hi.
Terrific. Upgrade to Axe Spiked Up Look Gel, the easy way to superior style.
The telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
So they got this all figured out, right? There's a golf club there, the beanbag toss, the ring toss, some refreshments, and a beautiful afternoon here in upstate New York at the racetrack at Watkins Glen, where the NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying just wrapped up. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying coming up, and then, of course, the Nationwide race later on this afternoon. So a look ahead to this afternoon's race. Keselowski, Logano, Busch, Ambrose, the first 4 starters. Brad said he thought the winner would come out of those first 4 starters. You agree?
Yeah, I can't disagree with that at all. I think we're going to have a very, very competitive race, but I think they're going to have a difficult time dealing with the guy that is on the pole, Brad Keselowski. Great road racer, and this 22 team just seems to get it done no matter who's behind the wheel.
Yeah, and it's going to be a really good race to watch between those 4, but it's also going to be another race out there. And these championship contenders, I'm watching Chase Elliott, the point leader. He's starting outside of that top 12. How well he'll do against Regan Smith, who's running pretty good. I think we're going to see a couple of different races playing out at one time.
So that's the Nationwide Series race later on this afternoon. Bottom of the hour is NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying. That should be really interesting, with as many people had difficulty during practice yesterday also.
Yeah, we talked about the speed of the Nationwide cars. Well, these Cup cars getting ready to set probably a track record too, and that's where they've really talked about how fast they are.
So Sprint Cup Series qualifying at the bottom of the hour here on ESPN2, then the Nationwide race on ABC this afternoon, and the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race on ESPN at noon tomorrow. Up next, NHRA 2013 Thrills and Spills. Then we're back to Watkins Glen for more thrills and maybe a couple of spills in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying. We had our share of spills and thrills today in Nationwide Series time trials with the Penske teammates coming out on top. Brad Keselowski with a new track record. See you in 30 minutes.
NHRA Velo Yellow Drag Racing. 10,000 horsepower propel these cars from 0 to 300 miles per hour faster than anything else on planet Earth. One mistake or one mechanical failure at those speeds can spell disaster, quickly reminding us that 10,000 horses are hard to tame. Buckle up and hang on as we bring you some of the most amazing crashes and breathtaking moments you'll ever see. This is NHRA Thrills and Spills. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of NHRA Thrills and Spills. I'm your host, Dave Reed. By now, you know that the birthplace of drag racing is beautiful, sunny Southern California. And surrounding this area, there were many legendary racetracks where hot rodders first took their cars from this street to the Strip. Irwindale, Orange County, Lions Drag Strip, just to name a few. But none has stood the test of time like Pomona Raceway here at the LA County Fairplex, the beginning and end of every NHRA Mellow Yellow drag racing season. And speaking of 2013, boy, the men and women put on another amazing show this year with some exciting and some frightening moments along the way. Now, a quick disclaimer, in any of the incidents you're about to see, nobody sustained any serious injuries, and for that, we're thankful. So having said that, if you didn't see a drag race in 2013, shame on you. But here's a little taste of what you missed. This is the NHRA Pro Stock motorcycle belonging to the Mellow Yellow champ in 2013, Matt Smith. And it is one diabolical ride. 375 horsepower, 0 to 60 miles per hour in a second, topping out at nearly 200 in the space of a quarter mile. All of this with no seatbelt, no roll cage, and only a leather suit to protect you if you go down. Talk to anybody who races this category for a living, they'll tell you riding a pro stock motorcycle is not easy. What did I say?
One of the reasons why I think a pro stock motorcycle is so hard to ride is we're not actually strapped into a seat and sitting in something. We're sitting on the motorcycle. The seat's cut out as more of a concave deal for your butt to fit in there. And when you pop the clutch, you got 3 G-forces pulling against you, and they want to pull you off the back of the bike, and you want to go forward out with the bike. So it makes it a little difficult. You have to learn how to tighten up your chest muscles and pull in certain areas to make that inertia moving forward, channel the energy to your butt, and basically use that to hold you in there. The most difficult thing is it's 3 G-forces, and it wants to pull you off. So you really have to learn how to move with it and not make it move you. It's easy to go out there, pop the clutch, and go. The hardest thing is trying to leave with the motorcycle.
You're not thinking, you're just reacting. It's just from many runs, and that's where experience comes into play. You feel these things sooner, so you're able to make a little correction because it's still early, and then you're able to go straight, where in the beginning, by the time you feel it, now you think about it and you react, now it's really making its move. So definitely, see, time is key.
Hold your breath. This is what can happen when things go wrong on a pro stock motorcycle. Things can get really ugly really fast. Don't go anywhere because we're just getting up to speed. Coming up, more crash bang action from the world's fastest accelerating cars, including one of the scariest moments of 2013. Antron Brown walks us through this wild ride at Pomona. Plus, some of Pro Stock's finest tell us what it's like to end up on your roof. And we talk funny cars. What happens when a good run goes bad? All that and more when NHRA Thrills and Spills continue.
What's the secret ingredient to an NHRA Mellow Yellow Drag Racing Series champion? Maybe it's the mind-blowing boost from Mellow Yellow. Or maybe it's the ridiculously smooth citrus taste. Or maybe it's both. Mellow Yellow. Go on yellow.
Build anything with the 2014 Toyota Tundra. Toyota, let's go places.
Geico's been helping people save money for over 75 years. They've really stood the test of time, much like these majestic Rocky Mountains, which must be named after the Rocky...
That would be Rocky the Flying Squirrel, Mr. Gecko, sir. Obviously.
Come on, Bullwinkle. They're named after...
First President George Rockington.
That doesn't even make any sense, Mr. Winkle.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Tomorrow, the race to the all-new Chase returns to the Glen, where wild finishes are the norm and playoff hopes hang in the balance. Watkins Glen, tomorrow at noon on ESPN.
It's like having advance notice an earthquake is coming.
Take the craziest, loudest rock concert you've ever been to and multiply it by about 20.
We are back with more NHRA Thrills and Spills. The NHRA Top Fuel Dragster, just like this one, the Mac Tools Chip Fu Specialty Design car driven by Doug Coletta, there is no way you can go from 0 to 330 miles per hour faster, like 3.7 seconds. When the car launches, 5 Gs force the driver into the trunk of the car. Then it shifts to a negative 6 Gs. When the parachutes come out, the driver's nose heads for the dashboard. With physical forces acting like that on both car and driver, what could possibly go wrong? The NHRA Mellow Yellow Drag Racing Series starts and ends every season here at the beautiful Auto Club Raceway, Pomona. Each year, the first race brings new hope for the season, and each year champions are crowned at the season's final event. Antron Brown was standing about right here in 2012 when he clinched the Top Fuel World Championship. His childhood dream became a reality on that day. Well, just 3 months later, Antron returned to Pomona as the reigning series champion. And in the second round of racing, his dream became a nightmare. Antron's engine exploded. Shrapnel took out his rear tires, and all the Ant could do was hold on and take a wild ride.
I just remember everything just going away really fast. You know, I just remember seeing the finish line coming up, just about to push my button on the parachute, and then it just all just broke loose. That's the most horrible feeling you want driving any kind of race vehicle and being in competitions when you lose control, because so used to having control of the car where you steer it right, steer it left, and it responds, and no matter what I did, it wasn't doing nothing. It was just going to do what it wanted to do, and once it went airborne, I knew that I was just pretty much just holding it together, just staying aware of everything that's around me, where I was at, and just trying to figure out, like, okay, when is it going to stop? The thing about driving these cars is that they accelerate so fast. Your body is used to slowing things that happen fast down, because we're so used to the rate of acceleration, how quick they accelerate. So when everything started going wrong, I automatically felt the car, like, I went forward, where all I could see was the floorboard. Then by the time when my head rebounded back up, I didn't even see in front of me. I was seeing the sky, because the car already spun around and went up, and I was looking up at the sky, and I could see some of the grandstands like behind me, and that's when you're like, whoa, I shouldn't be seeing this deal. And then I felt the big percussion to hit, where the car hit the wall and bounced back off and went a different direction. I just remember hitting it, rebounding, and then I was going in different directions, like, all right. And then I knew that the severe part's tapering down, because I felt the car just grinding on the side, like slowing down. And that's when I was like, all right, I'm okay. How awesome that the safety safari was is when I got into the sand trap and the car just came to, like, it finally stopped. I looked out of the windshield of our race car and I saw the truck already stopped, and I saw him running towards me. That was like a little kid seeing Santa Claus.
A run down the drag strip takes just a few seconds, but in that time, so much happens. And the only way to really see it is to slow the action down. Check out these amazing super slow-mo images. Coming up on NHRA Thrills and Spills.
When cleaning your Wally, a light dusting usually will suffice. For more aggressive cleaning, sure, water would work, but Mellow Yellow really seems to do the trick.
Jack Beckman is one of the funniest guys in the funny car pits.
Can we do that again?
But when it comes to safety, he's as serious as they come. Fast Jack shows us how drivers protect themselves from fires like this. Ron Capps tells us what it's like when you're driving this and it turns into this. And we do a little cooking, NHRA style. Do not touch that remote. We've got lots more in store for you on NHRA Thrills and Spills.
Nailed it. Nailed it. Thank you.
Rule 97. The NL East Pennant Chase is the ultimate arms race, and August is when they turn up the heat. Sunday Night Baseball, Nationals Braves at 8.
10,000 horsepower, 300-mile-per-hour drag racing, all access in the pits. It's NHRA Drag Racing, and it's the last chance to qualify for the Mellow Yellow Countdown to the Championship. Don't miss the Traxxas Nitro shootouts on Saturday and Sunday, and final eliminations on Monday. Join 16-time world champ John Force, plus your favorite NHRA legends as they come back to celebrate Indy's 60th annual Chevrolet Performance U.S. Nationals at Lucas Oil Raceway, Labor Day weekend. Tickets at NHRATix.com.
Show Grime who's boss with Grime Boss. Strong enough to remove burnt-on grease in just one wipe. Amazing. They're tough on grime without harsh chemicals. Grime Boss cleans, degreases, and moisturizes hands. We sprayed latex paint on this sports car. Watch as it comes right off. That's the power of Grime Boss. Our convenient resealable pack keeps each wipe moist and ready to go. They're tough on grime, but gentle on hands. Pick up Grime Boss at your local hardware, sporting goods, or auto parts store today and show Grime who's boss.
Something's got a hold over me. Yeah, something got a hold of me.
This summer.
This is our secret weapon. Let's go to work. Never underestimate a man in a Ford truck.
Buy your new F-150 now and get total savings up to $8,000 at your California Ford dealer.
Want to watch all your live TV channels on any device in your home? With Xfinity, every channel that's on your TV is on your tablet, anywhere in your house.
Oh my gosh.
You can do this on your phone also. You can do it on your phone, you can do it on a tablet. You can watch all your live TV on any mobile device.
Ooh, that's exciting.
You wouldn't have to argue ever again.
That is a great idea.
With live TV on every device in your home, everyone gets to watch what they want. Upgrade to an Xfinity X1 Triple Play today and save when you bundle. See for yourself. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
this summer.
This is our secret weapon. Let's go to work. Never underestimate a man in a Ford truck.
Buy your new F-150 now and get total savings up to $8,000 at your California Ford dealer.
Nothing beats a Sunday drive. Just mash the gas and let her rip. It's just that simple, right? Welcome back to NHRA Thrills and Spills in the Pits at Pomona. The NHRA Pro Stock Racer has one of the toughest jobs in all of racing. First, you have to drop the clutch and cut a better light than the guy in the lane next to you. Then you have to shift precisely at the right time every time, sawing your way through 4 gear shifts. All of this while keeping the car in the middle of the groove. Jed Coughlin, the Pro Stock champion, is one of the best ever at doing that. But talk to some of the other drivers in the category, they'll agree. You make one misstep on the road to the finish line, you can have your world turned upside down.
It felt like I had just been driving on a nice dry freeway and went in and ran through miles of oil-soaked highway. Not that there was oil on the track, but or water or anything. The track was fine.
I left the starting line, everything was cool, then second gear, everything was cool, and all of a sudden, that car turned 90 degrees to the left, right towards the wall, like I drove over a banana peel.
It rotated over, it went left a little bit, and then it rotated over on the right rear tire, and kind of turned up on 2 wheels, and went head on into the wall.
The car turned instantly sideways, and I turned the wheel, and all of a sudden, everything went instantly quiet. The car wasn't on the road anymore. The wheels weren't on the road anymore. It was upside down. The horizon was upside down. It was the craziest thing I had ever seen in my life. I don't know what to think.
In my case, it was the first time, my first race in a Pro Stock car. And, I felt like I had waited most of my adult life for that moment. And all I could think of when the car was turning over was, I'd waited this long to do it, and I messed it up on the first try.
Sliding backwards down the racetrack, and I was watching it grind the carburetors down. The pavement was grinding the carburetors off of the engine.
I just knew I was going to hit something hard, and I never did. Somebody steered that car between all the guardrails all the way down through the finish line on its lid, ground right through the lid on the thing, and never hit a wall. So, craziest feeling in my life.
I really thought I was going to get fired.
A lesson learned, and 100% driver error. I've had those same situations happen 2 more times since then, but this time I was smart enough to just abort the run and live to race another day.
You just have to know when to lift, and you can come back and try it again the next time.
It's on the mind of every NHRA drag racer, especially the men and women who drive funny cars. It's fire, and it can make a driver's situation go from bad to worse. This is the office of the now 16-time NHRA Mellow Yellow Funny Car World Champion John Force. You know, the NHRA mandates lots of safety features for these cars. There is the roll cage, as well as the 6-point harness that's designed to keep the driver safe in the event of an impact. There's also an automatic shutoff device on these cars that will stop the engine and deploy the parachutes. And on the cars as well, 2 fire bottles with lines directed exactly where they needed to be directed to extinguish flames. But if you talk to Fast Jack Beckman, he will tell you that fire protection starts with the driver.
A few years ago, a fan asked me, "Aren't you afraid of fire?" And I said, "No, but I'm afraid of getting burned." Fires in funny cars, 40 years ago to today,
are something that you see almost no injuries. And the reason is NHRA has significantly upped the minimum standards for driver's protection. It's important to recognize the NHRA standards are minimum. In other words, us drivers can elect to wear even more than is mandated. For instance, I wear thermal underwear, tops and bottoms, underneath the multi-layer fire suit. Before I put my fire boots on, I wear a fire retardant shoe underneath for an extra level of protection. Before I put my fire gloves on, I put on a carbon Kevlar heat-resistant glove underneath that. All the helmets in Nitro Funny Car are mandated to be equipped with a fire-resistant skirt, and underneath that, we all put on a head sock. When you put all this together, it adds about 15 to 17 pounds to the driver's weight. It makes you sweat, and it's very uncomfortable. But if you ever have a big fire in one of these things, you're going to thank goodness that you've worn everything that was available to you.
Of course, things get hot on these race cars when they become an inferno. But even during the course of a normal run, temperatures skyrocket inside these engines. Just look at the Capco crew, members of Torrance Racing, all of them wearing gloves to protect themselves from the intense heat. These are the clutch discs just out of the car. What kind of heat are we talking about? Intense heat. For more, what do you say we eat it up now with Mike Dunn? Bon appetit!
I was classically trained by my dad in the garage, and my specialty was clutches, you know, and the clutches, when they make a run, making 10,000 horsepower, they build a lot of heat from all that friction slipping that clutch trying to get it hooked up. So we got a couple clutch plates here, probably about 800 degrees. Can we cook anything on that?
I think we can try.
Well, what do you got here?
All right, we got a little bit of steak here. And normally if you're searing a steak on a grill, it is about 800 degrees, which is what these are. So it's the perfect temperature. See if we can make a little toast as well. Oh, see, look at that already. It's got a nice sear.
And I love the clutch dust right there. You know, that's added flavor there.
Extra flavor. Do you like your toast burnt?
You know, as long as it's got a little butter on it, I'm good with it.
Well, I think that steak is the perfect medium rare right now. We do have a volunteer. This is Steve Tucker. He's one of our sponsors here for Clay Milliken.
That's about a perfect medium rare, isn't it?
Good stuff. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for more. And we've got more right around the corner. We promised you funny car explosions. We've got them. Plus, a look at some of the most hair-raising moments we've ever seen. NHRA Thrills and Spills rolls on next.
Hey, buddy. What's in the box?
Oh, that's my speed demon. I bought it from this guy. He said it'd give my car more power. Oh, that? It drinks a lot of gas.
You wanted more power. Wouldn't this have been smarter?
Yes.
E3 spark plugs diamond fire technology delivers superior power and exceptional fuel efficiency.
Dear Lucas Oil, I've used your heavy-duty oil stabilizer in my truck for years. It now has over 500,000 miles. It's not a diesel. It's never been rebuilt. Your oil stabilizer does exactly what it says it'll do. It has extended the life of my engine. Just want to say thanks. Sincerely, Josh H.
Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. It works.
Like all great works of art, every bottle is hand-signed and numbered. No two are exactly alike. Patron, simply perfect. Every bottle of Patron is handcrafted in Mexico. The finished product is coveted worldwide. Patron, simply perfect.
Sitting in front of a camera all day is harder than it looks. So we bring in an expert to help us with our posture and delivery.
I want you to imagine a little string pulling your head up.
Where's the string?
You're holding a towel under your armpits. Eyes on the teleprompter. Mm-hmm. Don't look up to see the highlight. Mm-hmm. Look through the highlight.
You need a boatload of patience.
You know what? Forget everything I just said. Just be yourself. How's that feel?
Feels pretty good.
I like it too.
Welcome back to NHRA Thrills and Spills. Now let's see. We've covered funny car fires. That leaves, explosions. We've all driven on the highway at 55 miles an hour. Just imagine launching yourself 6 times faster than that in the space of just 1,000 feet. Now imagine your car bursting into flames all around you. You've got to get it stopped and get out safely. Inconceivable? Well, that's just another day at the office for an NHRA funny car driver.
As you can see, this is our office. We have a carbon fiber Dodge Charger's body sitting over me. Now, believe it or not, this is a very comforting feeling as a funny car driver. You have your parachutes mounted on one side, but when they drop the body down, as you can tell, you're back here quite a ways. In fact, the side windows that a lot of fans think that we can see out of, I can't even reach. In fact, they're not even reachable to here. This is how far back we are in a funny car. So here you are going along on a run. Great run. The last thing you ever think is going to happen is boom. And when it goes boom, it goes from having a feeling of shelter like this to this. And this is not what you want as a funny car driver. But now that the explosion has happened, the body is now gone. More than likely, you got fire all around you. Okay, now, you've been through this a million times in your head. What do you do to get the car stopped safely, as safely as you can anyway? Now, you know for sure the safety system the NHRA has implemented has already shut the fuel off for you and has put the parachutes out. So your job as a driver is to try to keep it off the wall, get the fire extinguisher bottles on, safely pull the brakes, making sure that there's no oil in the tires. You don't want to pull the brakes too hard. But what you want to do is get it safely stopped, because I guarantee you the safety safari is already waiting for you.
When you make it to the Pomona Drags, be sure to also plan some time and check out the NHRA Motorsports Museum. When you see the NHRA founder Wally Parks at the front of the building, you know you're there. Behind these doors, some of the historical hardware that's allowed the NHRA to race into its 7th decade. Speaking of that, we dug into our own archives for some of the hairiest and scariest moments throughout that time. As if you needed further proof to know these drivers have nerves of steel. Check it out. We hope you've had a great time at one of the most famous, let's face it, beautiful racetracks we have in all of motorsports. Auto Club Raceway at Pomona, truly a legendary piece of real estate. Unfortunately and sadly, we have to pull the parachute on another edition of NHRA Thrills and Spills. But do not despair. As long as we've got brave racers that push the envelope, walk that razor's edge between glory and absolute disaster, there will be more NHRA Thrills and Spills, and we'll be there to capture them. Until then, I'm Dave Reed. So long, everybody. NHRA Thrills and Spills is a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
A spectacular Saturday continues at Watkins Glen International, the tricky and fast road course in upstate New York, where now the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series takes center stage for what's sure to be a record-smashing qualifying session. Drivers racing around this 7-turn course with the track record most likely to fall early on The question is, who comes out on top and takes pole position for tomorrow's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Watkins Glen race. And hello again from the Glen, Alan Bestwick with champion driver Dale Jarrett and champion crew chief Andy Petrie. And just as we talked about with the NASCAR Nationwide Series a couple of hours ago, this NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying session could get pretty interesting based on the number of drivers that had difficulty during Friday's practice sessions.
Yeah, it's just the sheer speed once again as I talk to these drivers that is creating a lot of these issues, and a lot of it happened in that inner loop turn 5 area. You see Tony Stewart here getting off track, doing a little mowing of the grass there, but we just saw so many trying to carry that speed in and out of there, create a lot of spins.
Yeah, they are carrying more speed out of that inner loop and into that section of the racetrack. We see Carl Edwards went around early in the practice session. Here goes Kyle Larson for a little 360.
Little different problem here for Danica Patrick. A suspension part into the left front tire, cut the tire down, causing that hard crash. Patrick will be in a backup car. But this is the super speedway of road coursing, and it is certainly a challenge for these drivers and teams with the quicker pace this year's Sprint Cup cars are carrying. Now, an important race where championship standings are concerned, because a driver with a 0 in the win column could take home a trophy here and earn his way into the chase.
Yeah, and there's 5 of those drivers that if it's not them, they're very concerned about another driver somewhere that could come in and take a win and take that one of those spots away. So there are a lot of drivers looking at this as some as an opportunity, others are kind of hoping that maybe status quo.
Yeah, but it's getting down to crunch time, so the pressure is on these teams that can possibly get a win. This is an opportunity race for, you can think of Marcus Ambrose, maybe A.J. Allmendinger to get in there and get that win. Qualifying is going to be important for them to start up front if they want to do that.
Ambrose and Allmendinger, the 2 favorites to perhaps earn their way into the chase for the road course win on Sunday. We check downstairs on those drivers, beginning with Dave Burns.
And there's no doubt about that, Alan. Marcus Ambrose is on the outside of the chase, looking in with no wins in 2014 and not enough championship points to think about getting it done that way in the next 5 races. Watkins Glen is a must-win situation. And he's proven he can do it, obviously. 2 wins in Sprint Cup before, 3 Nationwide Series wins. But he's also been able to prove that he can start up front. Very important on the road course. Remember last year, the pole for the first time in the Sprint Cup Series, and a new track record for Marcus. He can qualify up front. Already this weekend, he's been in the top 5 in both practice sessions, and he's been under his own track record. You mentioned smashing the records. Yep, that's going to happen, and Marcus Ambrose is one of the favorites for the pole today. Let's go over to Vince Welch.
And another one of those who has this particular race circled on the calendar is A.J. Allmendinger. Allmendinger certainly knows that this is his best opportunity to get that win and make the chase. Now, he also knows the track position is huge, and that means having an outstanding qualifying effort here today. In fact, 20 of the previous 31 winners here at Watkins Glen in the Sprint Cup Series have started from a top 5 position. That's not lost on Allmendinger. Spoke with him just before he climbed in the car. He said, I don't know if we've got a pole car, but we've certainly got one good enough to start up front. Alan?
Track position so critical in this loaded NASCAR Sprint Cup Series field, and you get it by starting up front, and that happens next in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying. The middle show of our triple header from Watkins Glen today. Later on, the NASCAR Nationwide Series race over on ABC starting at 2 Eastern Time with a heavy hitter loaded field and what should be an exciting race. That's later today at 2 Eastern on ABC. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race is over on ESPN tomorrow starting at noon Eastern Time. The last few events here at the Glen have been slugfests, and tomorrow should be no exception. We look forward to that one starting at noon Eastern on Sunday. How does the qualifying session turn out? Who gets pole position? Who transfers into the final round from this opening session? We begin finding out when the green flag waves and qualifying begins next.
They say it's what's on the inside that matters. Guess the McMuffin doesn't think hash browns matter. It's okay, hash browns. We still love you. The new AM Crunch Wrap from Taco Bell. Eggs, bacon, cheese, plus a very meaningful hash brown inside. Wrapped and grilled to go.
This is Charlie. His long day of doing it himself starts with back pain and a choice.
Take 4 Advil in a day, or just 2 Aleve for all-day relief.
Honey, you did it.
So sharky.
The Beam family has a long history of doing things their own way. In fact, They age every drop of Jim Beam twice as long as the law requires for a true Kentucky straight bourbon. So, 4 long years from now, I'll be back for this one. That's how Jim Beam makes history. How will you make yours?
Hey, Jake, come on over here for a sec. Why you want to touch my dart so bad? Why does he want to touch it?
Who said I wanted to touch it?
Jake, you know they got affordable leasing program. Just think, Jake, you could get your own and you could touch it whenever you want it. You can touch it all the time, all the time.
I don't want to touch your dart.
I know you're mad, Jake, but you gotta get your own.
I'm not mad.
I know you're mad, Jake, but you got to get your own. I know you're mad, Jake.
I'm getting mad, but I want
to get your own.
I'm MMA champ Chuck Liddell, and I stop things. Just like Duralast brakes.
They stop anything.
Duralast, proven tough. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Tomorrow, the race to the all-new Chase returns to the Glen, where wild finishes are the norm and playoff hopes hang in the balance. Watkins Glen, tomorrow at noon on ESPN.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying is brought to you by Taco Bell Breakfast. Wake up, live Maz.
Beautiful Seneca Lake, the middle of the Finger Lakes, on a spectacular Saturday here in Watkins Glen, New York. We're just up the hill. Watkins Glen International, the drivers are buckled aboard, and we're ready to begin NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying to see who gets pole position for tomorrow's race. This track is so challenging, it is so fast. I called it earlier the super speedway of courses. Let's take you through some of the difficult spots on this racetrack in the eyes and words of the drivers who are about to take it on.
For me, the toughest part of it is probably going into turn 1. You're going downhill. There's a lot of opportunities to wheel hop into that corner because the back of the car is so light.
Oh, the S's, no doubt.
The hardest section of Watkins Glen is up through the S's down a backstretch, making sure you're carrying really good speed, big speed.
To me, the hardest section at Watkins Glen is getting into the bus stop.
The most challenging part of Watkins Glen is the bus stop.
The bus stop is probably the hardest. The bus stop's much easier to defend than any other braking zone out there. And if guys just run you all the way down to the grass if they wanted to protect the spot. The right-hander coming on the front straightaway, I just struggle with getting good power down out of that corner and then getting in position to pass somebody in turn 1.
Well, it tells me that everything except turn 6 is a danger. They're used to going left, and that's the left-hander as you come to turn 7. So, yeah, this inner loop is the tough part. And I tell you, they made it even more difficult by doing a few things on the entrance of there. There used to be a big curbing there. They've taken that away there. You can just go right across this. And so that area is kind of open game to carry a lot of speed in there now, and that's creating some difficulties for them.
Be interesting to see how that plays in the qualifying and in the race tomorrow. Getting ready for the first of the 2 qualifying sessions today. 30 minutes, top 12 advance to the final round after a 10-minute break. And that last round will be 10 minutes in duration to determine the order of those top 12 starters. A couple of other things. You do have to use the entire course on every lap that you're out there, so you can't blow through the inner loop. If you mess up getting into that loop, you have to come to a full stop before you resume. And drivers getting out of the way of other drivers, not impeding someone else's lap, certainly something we'll be watching for. It's something that will be worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah, Kyle Busch may have done some of these drivers a favor that were sitting around watching the nationwide qualifying and saw him get a couple of penalties for not stopping up there, for going through that inner loop. And so they might have learned something that maybe their crew chief failed to tell them too.
Well, at least the message was delivered in the Nationwide Series qualifying session. I don't expect we'll see any problems in this one. Like the race is on, though.
Yeah, rush to get there.
Glen line that cost several people a pass-through penalty during practice yesterday.
You have to stay below that. You can start blending there as the line starts to be the dotted line.
Everybody trying to create a little gap in front of themselves and then get going. Casey Mears, the first car at the head of the line. Joey Logano next behind him.
And these first couple are going to hope that everybody has gotten off of pit road and out of the way. I mean, it's a big racetrack, and you'd like to think that they'll do that, and getting out there first will be an advantage.
And a 30-minute session, there's plenty of time, so you don't necessarily need to rush out onto the racetrack if you didn't get the break away from the parking order on pit road.
Well, you don't have to, but you'd like to get out there. You know, we've seen over the years of things happening in these sessions, and you get people that start running off the track, kicking stuff up on the track, then it's not as clean for you.
And one of the things is this track is so technical that you don't really want to be close, even though it may not really affect the cars too much to be, say, this far apart. It takes a little distraction from the driver to be looking in the mirror to see if there's somebody coming, making sure that he's, making the right spacing, but also hitting these corners right. It's really imperative that they hit these braking zones. Their downshifts perfect to make a fast lap here. Don't need any distractions.
I like the idea of going out there, getting your lap in, and seeing, okay, I've put this down and this should be okay, instead of having the pressure then later on of knowing that what you've got to go run. So I'd like to be in that first group that's out there.
Joey Logano posted the 8th fastest lap in the Friday practice sessions here at the Glen. Qualified second quick for the NASCAR Nationwide Series race a bit ago.
A number of times yesterday that were faster than the track record, so we're going to see that here right off the bat.
Yeah, these cars are just so fast. This year they've got more downforce. It's got a lower center of gravity with the no ride height rules. A lot of things. They make more power every year. These cars are really fast for this event.
Not quite track record speed from Logano, but he's right at it.
About 2/10 off to what the track record is.
And the track record has just been eclipsed. A.J. Allmendinger to the top of the board.
A little bit quicker. A.J. ran a little quicker than he did in practice, and he was the quickest car.
Watkins, Glen, King, Tony Stewart, 5 times a winner here. Seeing the numbers start to stack up there on the left side of the screen as people come through and complete laps. Kurt Busch. Matt Kenseth just ahead of him.
Good lap for Kurt Busch, second. Looks like he navigated that turn 7, the one that he was talking about, gives him the most problem here.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks like that splitter has come loose. That's one of the problems I think that we're going to see with these Sprint Cup cars with the no ride height rules. We're going to run over these curves with a lot lower ground clearance. Side skirts are going to be a little bit of an issue, in my opinion, too.
So that will, if Logano transfers through to the second round of qualifying, that'll be a real big problem for him. Here's Kyle Busch. Running just behind Boris Said in that 32.
I think this is going to affect his lap time a little bit. He may end up having to pass Boris Said. Like he's going to make the pass going down into the left-hander.
He's not going to have the angle that you'd want to come into that corner right there. He'd much rather have a much bigger arc to get in there and off. I believe that slowed him down quite a bit. You're right.
Kyle slotting in 6th position.
Do I need another one?
Brad Keselowski. So good at this racetrack. A factor in the race each of the last 3 years. And right now on pace to take the top spot.
I'll tell you, that car's carrying some speed up there. That's got to take your breath up to those S's.
going to see the pole water lost in through the inner loop area and getting around what we call turn 5 here. Is he going to encounter any traffic before he's able to complete his lap?
I think these cars may impede his progress a little bit. Still a little ways to the start-finish line.
It's Cole Witt just ahead of him in the 26.
Probably a solid enough lap to transfer to the next session.
Really, that's what's important here. Get in the top 12.
You can see he lost almost 3/4 of a second in that last part of the racetrack.
Jeff Gordon. Done a lot of winning here at Watkins Glen, but it's been a while. 2001, the last of his 4 wins here.
I'll tell you though, this 24 car has been one of the fastest cars for the last few weeks. They've got a lot of momentum.
Yeah, they certainly seem like they're in championship form right now.
And speaking of, Jimmy Johnson in the green until he got to that part of the racetrack. Looks like he's losing a little time to Allmendinger. Allmendinger must have got through that corner really well.
Yeah, we're seeing everybody pretty much that we've shown there lose time.
Great lap from Johnson, though. Talked to Jimmy yesterday. He says he thinks he's going to have a chance to win this one on Sunday.
Well, you're going to have to beat this guy.
Yeah, well, all of them will have to beat this guy. Oh, and he's making it tough already. Look at this, half a second quicker at that point.
Wow. He's put it out there for him now.
Wow, that was a great
Nice job. P1 by a good amount.
Yeah. By 3/10.
That's about 6/10 faster than the track record.
So Ambrose and Allmendinger, the 2 guys we just talked about, as possibly sneaking up, getting a win. Let me correct myself. It wouldn't be a sneak here at Watkins
Yeah, I think
Glen.
he can't hardly sneak up on him now.
Yeah. As soon as that came out, I said, wait a minute. Beep, beep, beep. Danica Patrick on track. Backup car after the difficulties in Friday's practice session. Dave?
And 2 motors, AB. I talked to the team a few minutes ago. They changed the motor earlier in the day, and then in their primary car with the backup motor, when they crashed, they just felt they might have done some damage to that motor as well. So this backup car was hauled out. They put another engine in it, and they decided that the car that Ryan Newman ran for Stewart Haas Racing back in 2011 at both road course races would be the one. As for the plan during this session, it's simply race runs. Danica's going to get comfortable with this race car, more comfortable with Watkins Glen, and they're not really going to, quote, make a qualifying attempt during the first session.
We talked about this earlier in nationwide qualifying, but that's one of the pluses to this style of qualifying is someone that's had problems late on Friday like that can go out, get a few laps on the car, make sure there's nothing leaking or falling off it. The disadvantage is because of the qualifying rules, you can't really do anything to adjust on it during the qualifying.
No, you can't during that, but it's going to give you a really good idea of what to do there. So she's going to have to start in the back anyway. Pit selection is not nearly as big an issue here because more than likely you're going to be making your pit stops under green flag conditions where everybody's not on pit road anyway. So use this time to get this backup car ready and where you need it, and then try to hopefully make some strategy work to your advantage tomorrow.
So you see drivers continuing to post numbers on the left and shuffling around that top 12. Tony Stewart, Kyle Busch now bumped out. Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the bubble. Look at Cole Witt in there at 11th spot. And here is Carl Edwards. On a good lap. Though early on in it, just up the backstretch. Carl, winner at Sonoma in June in the season's other road course race, and with a top 5 finish here at Watkins Glen last year.
Yeah, that's good to this point, though. Look at the lap time he's got. Faster than Ambrose to that point. Good bobble there.
Yeah, that was probably using up a little bit more of the, I was going to say track. That's not actually the track out there, but they used it as part of that. Coming back, though. Yeah, there's going to be some drivers outside these 12 that weren't planning on having to run a second lap. Edwards would like to get himself in that side of that. Able to do that for now.
So Junior bumped down to the top 12. Cole Witt down on the bubble. Here's Greg Biffle. That didn't sound like a very good exit to that corner. Yep, 19th for Biff. Jamie McMurray, pole winner out at Sonoma. Good road racer. Had some troubles yesterday with a power steering leak on this one car, as well as on the team car of Kyle Larson's. And you see Jamie's time as far as the bubble driver Cole Witt at the moment.
Jamie, another one of those drivers, that good road racer, as you pointed out, that would certainly like to take advantage of that here tomorrow and get his victory to get in the chase.
Barely into the top 12. Here's his teammate Kyle Larson. Looks like he's out of the gas. Larson has not posted a full lap's time yet. Marcus Ambrose, A.J. Allmendinger leading. 18 minutes left in the first of the 2 knockout qualifying sessions.
To those who still find the taste of 5-Hour Energy a little strong, don't miss the 5-Hour Energy $100,000 Yummification Contest. Mix 5-Hour Energy with your favorite beverage. Yummification. Name it. Shoot it. Send us the video. Yummification. You could win a share of $100,000.
For rules and requirements, go to 5hourYummification.com.
The 5-Hour Energy Yummification Contest.
It's delicious.
Get a large 2-topping pizza for just $7.99 at PizzaHut.com. A deal this good only lives online. So for a limited time, try the $7.99 online deal any day of the week when you order at PizzaHut.com. The best Pizza Hut deals live online. Pizza Hut.
$1,800.
Do you belong in this circle? Under the 1,800-watt glow of stadium lights? Can you withstand the pressure and go nose to nose with a Sprint Cup driver and keep your wits about you at every turn? Round and round you go, and when you'll rise, nobody knows.
Gives me rates on Progressive Direct and other car insurance companies?
Yes.
But you're Progressive and they're them.
Yes.
But they're here.
Yes.
Are you?
There?
Yes.
No.
Are you them?
I'm me.
But the lowest rate is from them.
Yes.
So them's the best rate is?
Here.
So where are them?
Aren't them here?
I already asked you that.
When?
Feels like a while ago.
You want to take it from the top?
Rates for us and them. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
If you sign up for DirecTV's latest deal, prepare to be blindsided. Because they'll double your rate before you know it. And you'll find you're locked into a 2-year contract that could cost you over $3,000. That's why the smart choice is Xfinity. You can see all the best action in football all season long. With no surprises. Don't get blindsided by DirecTV. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Post office again.
Tomorrow night on ESPN, Jason Worth and the National League East leading Nationals are in Atlanta to face Freddie Freeman and the Braves. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. Nationals Braves at 8 Eastern on ESPN and live on Watch ESPN. That'll be after NASCAR Sprint Cup racing from Watkins Glen on ESPN Sunday. Qualifying for that race ongoing now with Marcos Ambrose currently leading the opening of the 2 rounds of knockout qualifying. Kevin Harvick and Kyle Larson, 2 drivers that have not yet posted a time in the session. Harvick was out looking like he was on a lap to try and attempt to get a time. But out on the backside of the course, ran into a little bit of traffic.
Looks like Kyle Busch was finished with his lap, cooling down. It's in the way of Harvick. Kind of just blows that lap.
And then the conversation between race cars continued. So something we thought we might see today, and in fact we have. Kevin Harvick is headed back out onto the track this earlier when he came back in.
Yeah, sorry about that. They knew we were coming. Jason said he didn't have a spotter over there. Go find him. Yeah, I already did. I already chewed Tony. And that was probably the wrong time to go and exactly what Rodney was talking about. Yeah. Well, yes, that was my fault, so should have been more patient. I'm sorry.
Spotter saying to Kevin that maybe sent him out there at the wrong time.
Yeah, they could have waited. As long as they had waited, they could have kind of let that whole first wave get out of the way because they did have plenty of time. But you still like to think that the other drivers are paying attention, whether their spotters telling them or not. You go around there slowly. You need to be looking in your mirror because you realize that everybody's out there trying to get in a fast lap.
That's the Harvick story. On the Kyle Larson story, Dave.
So, and finishing up too, the spotters with the 18 bunch, they definitely said we can do a better job for you, getting you that clean spot. Now, it's happening with the 42 as well. When he was on track trying to begin his first lap, he encountered the 99 at the wrong spot, and so they came back right down pit road, did not even attempt to cross the start-finish line and put a lap in the books. Kyle Larson has been on pit road since, and they haven't gone back out yet. Vince?
Well, a little bit of drama down here in the 22 box where Joey Logano is sitting. Logano currently is 9th on the speed chart, but has now dropped down to 10th, in fact. But if we saw during that particular replay earlier when he was coming up over the curbs, the splitter looked like it was coming apart in the center. Just talked with crew chief Todd Gordon. As you look at the replay and see, look at the vibration there. Logano said he could definitely feel that, as you might expect, as he was cruising through that particular area of the racetrack. Todd Gordon, the crew chief, told me it actually broke a weld, and even though it's together on the corners, it's definitely open in the center, so they've scrambled back to the hauler to get some bare bond. The team is now taping it up. They believe that they're going to be just fine, but time will tell. Still in the top 12, hoping not to slip out.
All right, Vince, thanks. So while they continue to try and come up with a workable solution for that, there is Justin Allgaier, who just jumped himself into the top 12.
That's a really solid lap for him right there.
Great lap for him.
Equaled their best finish last week at Pocono of the season. With a very strong run, despite getting damaged up in that the big wreck we saw there. And came here this weekend with a lot of confidence because of his past nationwide experience here. And, of course, he's a former winner in road course racing in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, Justin Allgaier. Speaking of someone with a lot of success on the road courses in recent years, Martin Truex Jr. was one of the three fighting for the win in this race a year ago. Driving for a different team then. But at this Watkins Glen racetrack has been, as Martin said, really, really, really good for me over the years. And here they are trying to find a way into the top 12.
They did jump up 12 spots. They were 32nd. Now they moved up to 20th.
Kevin Harvick back out. And is now on his green flag lap.
Yeah, this car was really fast. Looked really solid in the practice sessions yesterday. Nice, comfortable margin so far.
Yeah, if he just has an uneventful lap, he should be able to transfer no problem.
In comparison to the pole with Ambrose. For the fast time in this session.
Yeah, you can see it's not too far off Ambrose. Great lap.
Yeah, made a nice run off turn 5 there. Harvick's very smooth with the car. He carries good momentum, doesn't overcharge the corners. Whoa! Used up a lot of track out of the last corner there, though.
Second for Kevin. And Kyle Larson on the track. Sliding the car around off a corner, nothing new for him. Maybe while turning right. Well, actually, in a sprint car, no, you would still be turning right. So.
Car's going to the left.
Yeah. Not bad. 20th there for Kyle.
It's like the session, though, the 2 days have been a struggle for Kyle Larson here. Figuring out exactly what he's looking for. Mentioned how fast this track is, and obviously now the fastest that cars have ever run around here, stock cars. Takes an adjustment to understand all of that and to comprehend all of that as a driver, and especially as a young driver.
Casey Kane on the track in the 5. Yeah, think back in time to when you first came to Watkins Glen to race. Someone like Kyle Larson who came from predominantly oval track racing and didn't have a lot of road racing in the background. How difficult was it to find that comfort range at speed, as fast as this place is?
Yeah, it was very difficult. I came here without testing the first couple of times, and so it was hard. You're here on race weekend to find those limits and know what I can do without trying to tear up the race car or trying not to tear up the race car, but to get to that to where you could be fast, because the speed is something. When I first came, we didn't have the inner loop, so you were attacking turn 5 at a high rate of speed too, but you just realize, I think that was the thing that stood out to me the most.
Watching Casey Kane try to improve his time where the top 12 is concerned. You see he's a little bit behind the pace of Carl Edwards coming to that last corner. Casey moves up to 27th, but that's not going to get it done. Here's Paul Menard. From 28th to 20th for Menard. Carl Edwards still on the bubble. Both Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch headed back onto the racetrack to take a shot at getting in. Eric Almirola had a pass-through penalty when it went out onto the racetrack, had a blend line violation. Had to come back in. Here's Matt Kenseth.
All 3 of the Gibbs cars sitting outside that top 12 right now.
Got a shot.
From here to the start-finish lines where Carl Edwards was actually pretty good, so I think he might need all those 3/10 if he's going to try to unseat Carl for that bump spot.
That car looked as good there as I've seen it all weekend, going through the inner loop and out of turn 5.
Not going to get the pole. Will he get the top 12?
It's going to be a good lap. Might get in there. Yeah, oh yeah.
6. So Edwards is out. Logano's on the bubble. And we have just over 5 minutes left in this first round of knockout qualifying for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series here at Watkins Glen, where they're pounding away on those curves at the inner loop.
Sitting in front of a camera all day is harder than it looks. So we bring in an expert to help us with our posture and delivery.
I want you to imagine a little string pulling your head up.
Where's the string?
You're holding a towel under your armpits. Eyes on the teleprompter. Mm-hmm. Don't look up to see the highlight. Mm-hmm. Look through the highlight.
You need a boatload of patience.
You know what? Forget everything I just said. Just be yourself. How's that feel?
Feels pretty good.
I like it too.
At Subway, we're seriously into veggies, which is why we prepare them fresh, in store. We're all about finding unique veggies, making your sandwich a one-of-a-kind creation. So come on in and get your veggie on. Subway, eat fresh.
Energy! Energy, energy, energy! It's inside of all of us. Even Gary here. Baraka has guarana and caffeine to support mental sharpness. Oh, yeah. Early morning meeting? No problem. Plus, Baraka has B vitamins to support physical energy. Some assembly required. Ah, cherish memory. I'm bringing down the house. 2 things, 1 package. Baraka!
This is the age of knowing what you're made of. Why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. Ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
She owns Sin City. A predator, destroying lives.
You're starting a gang war.
Kill him.
Need your help. Means going up against a lot of guns. Let's tear him to pieces.
Jump in. Sin City, a dame to kill for.
Duralast is tough. It can take the cold and the heat. Trust me, this battery can beat up your battery. Duralast, proven tough. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Marcus Ambrose watching the final 3 minutes of the first of today's 2 qualifying sessions play out. He's the leader, new track record time. We'll see him in round 2 shortly in the run for the pole. However, the bubble spot and that whole picture shifting very rapidly in the last couple of moments. Carl Edwards bumped. Joey Logano bumped. Jeff Gordon just bumped by Tony Stewart. Justin Allgaier's down on the bubble. Brad Keselowski's down in the 11th spot. So now the big rush out onto the racetrack. Drivers trying to protect their place in the top 12, like the 2. And drivers trying to find a way in, like Cole Witt in the 26 right behind him. Jeff Gordon, Jamie McMurray, Kyle Busch, and others. Jeff Gordon on the clock, trying to find a way back inside the top 12. That's the beginning of a green flag lap for Jeff.
Carrying some good speed up through the S's.
Yeah, boy, that kind of sets the tone for your lap. If you can stay wide open up through there as you go up past turn 2 and stay back in the throttle up through the S's, carry a lot of speed. You see the difference that will make.
About all these cars you see on that scoring column from 11th through 15th are on the track now. Keselowski jumps up to 6th.
Has secured his spot in these top 12. Gordon's going to do that too right now.
If there's some speed picked up on the track, because all of a sudden we're seeing the numbers tick up here.
Not a bad lap.
Actually, great lap.
Part of it might be a cycle on the tires is not a bad thing here. The other, I think that adjusting some air pressures probably helped. Maybe the track was a little different than they anticipated on the stickers.
Jamie McMurray clicks in 13th, not enough to advance. Logano 15th with that taped up front splitter. Justin Allgaier's on the track now. Just taking the green flag with 30 seconds to go.
Right now you're just hoping that nobody gets in your way. This is your last chance at getting a good lap.
This is Logano trying to advance. See how they've patched up where that splitter came apart in the center section of it. Look at that car bounce.
I'll tell you what, they did a good job on the repair on that splitter because it's solid.
That's it. Time's up. No one will get a fresh run at it. Just the cars out there now. Michael McDowell just ahead of Joey Logano. Jamie McMurray and Justin Allgaier are also on the speedway.
It looks like he might knock Stewart out of that top 12 if he gets off of this last corner. It's going to be close.
Did it. Vickers on the bubble.
Woo! All right.
Allgaier can improve. Kurt Busch is already in. Moves up a few spots. Casey Kane doesn't improve. Here's Paul Menard. That's not going to be fast enough. I believe that's it. They've all finished. So Marcos Ambrose sets the new track record and will lead the group of 12 to run for pole position 10 minutes from now here at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, see if they can lower the track record even more.
So the group of 12 to run for the pole. Ryan Newman slid in there in 6th place midway through the session.
Yeah, Vickers gets that last spot by 4/1000ths of a second.
Isn't that something?
Over Tony Stewart.
Yeah. And how they'll start from 13th on back tomorrow here at the Glen. Kyle Busch a little further back than I think I was expecting.
Two drivers battling with points. Casey Kane and Austin Dillon be starting way back tomorrow.
So there you go. Round 1 is done. We're into the 10-minute break. When we come back, 12 drivers run for the pole position here at Watkins Glen to see who'll lead the field with the green flag on Sunday.
We're the names you know in the places you want to be, where you can explore super destinations and do everything under the sun. 12 brands, more hotels than anyone else in the world. For a chance to win $1 million, visit WyndhamRewards.com.
Get a large 2-topping pizza for just $7.99 at PizzaHut.com. A deal this good only lives online. So for a limited time, try the $7.99 online deal any day of the week when you order at PizzaHut.com. The best Pizza Hut deals live online. Pizza Hut.
Something happens when you give your hair air. You get a natural look without the gray. Only Just for Men has Air Active, the only technology that uses oxygen in the air to get rid of gray while leaving the natural variations in your hair. No ammonia, no peroxide, no overcoloring. Just air. Just you and the look you want. Just for Men.
The Beam family has a long history of doing things their own way. In fact, they age every drop of Jim Beam twice as long as the law requires for a true Kentucky straight bourbon. So, 4 long years from now, I'll be back for this one. That's how Jim Beam makes history. How will you make yours?
What's up, Jake?
That depends, man. What are you doing?
Just cruising around in my new ride.
Oh, the one I'm not supposed to touch, right?
You got it.
Guess what? I'm touching it right now, Craig.
What are you talking about, Jake?
With my voice.
That doesn't make any sense.
You let me in, man, by answering, and I like it in here.
You're not touching it. Touch is physical. Your voice isn't physical.
My sound waves are pouring out of your speakers, penetrating every cubic.
Stop disrespecting her.
Ooh, and the Dart likes it, don't you, Dart?
Get your filthy voice off of her, Jake.
Well, I don't have just one major. I kind of have 4 of them.
Well, with the powerful Intel processor inside this 2-in-1, you can handle them all. Plus, it comes with Dragon Assistant.
Hey, Dragon, what's the boiling point of ammonia?
Here's what I found.
Do iguanas bite?
Searching the web.
All Lenovo Yoga 2-in-1s on sale, starting at $399.99. Best Buy, America's back-to-school tech fitter.
Every night when I fall asleep, I dream of being a knight in shining armor. A good guy. A hero. I dream of being a race car driver.
The most storied conference in college athletics has a new home. ESPN brings you the SEC Network, launching August 14th. It'll feature over 1,000 exclusive live events, including 45 football games and 24/7 coverage of all 21 conference sports. Go to GetSECNetwork.com and let your TV provider know you don't want to miss out on the action. The SEC Network, coming August 14th. Here at Watkins Glen, the first of the 2 knockout qualifying sessions over for today. The top 12 advancing on to run for the pole position in just a few minutes' time. Barely missing out by 0.004 of a second. On advancing was Tony Stewart, Vince.
Nobody's won at Watkins Glen more than this man, but if he does it tomorrow, he'll have to do it from the 13th spot. 0.004 of a second. Is there any place that you can point to on the track that cost you at least that amount of time?
Well, this is such a momentum-driven track that you can gain or lose that really, really easy. So, with all the corners they got here and the braking zones, you could pick that up really easy and not even know you did it. So we picked up from our first run. I think we ran a 15 the first run and then ran that 79. So definitely picked up for sure, just didn't pick up enough.
Don't count him out tomorrow. Tony Stewart. Dave?
With Jamie McMurray, who will make his 12th start on tomorrow here at Watkins Glen. It'll be from the 14th position. Jamie, how would you describe your laps in qualifying?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I wish we could have been a little quicker. I thought yesterday in relation to the field we were faster than where we ended up. I was just a little bit too loose, and we made a transmission change overnight, and I couldn't time out my corner, and it's so important here to roll the middle, and I just needed a couple more laps to kind of get used to what we have, but have a pretty solid car. McDonald's Chevy, we unloaded pretty good. Same car we ran well with at Sonoma. So, yeah, look forward to tomorrow's race. Should be fun.
Yeah, that was a great result. His best finish of the year was Sonoma, 4th place, AB.
Dave, thanks. Folks smarter than I at doing such things. In this case, Jimmy Hicks, our statistician to my left, calculates that the difference between Tony Stewart and Brian Vickers around this 2.45-mile track over those 0.004 of a second was 9 inches at the start-finish line.
We may have a finish like that tomorrow.
And yes, he carried the one, which I often forget to do. These camera shots are cool, aren't they?
They really are.
Great job, guys and gals.
You guys heard about probiotics?
For digestive health.
Yeah, and did you know TrueBiotics is a daily probiotic that helps in 2 ways? It supports digestive and immune health by working in your gut, where 70% of your immune system lives. Try TrueBiotics today.
So sharky. I'm MMA champ Chuck Liddell, and I stop things. People. Problems. Anything that moves. Just like Duralast brakes. They stop anything! Hey, if you use anything else, you should stop. Duralast. Proven tough. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Tomorrow, the race to the all-new Chase returns to the Glen, where wild finishes are the norm and playoff hopes hang in the balance. Watkins Glen, tomorrow at noon.
All right, here we go. Line up down here. Let's go. We're going 3, 1, 2, 3, 1.
How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it?
We're going to start fast and finish strong.
Let's go. You got to finish.
Play harder.
More faster.
This is it. Put it all on the line.
We've got passion.
Second prize for the 49ers this year, another long offseason. There's only one prize. Its name is Lombardi.
We've got insight.
I have no doubt that Steve Kerr can connect with management. With the players, that's the question.
We've got access.
John Gruden now joins us. John, are you ever going to coach again?
I do have an ambition to coach someday.
And we've got game.
And at John's Clubhouse, if you don't take your job serious, the veteran guys are going to let you know about it.
Cut, print, done. The Bay Area's new sound for sports. 95.7 The Game. .edu.
The middle portion of our triple header coverage from Watkins Glen today is Sprint Cup Series qualifying. We're 3 minutes away from the beginning of the final round. Next is the NASCAR Nationwide Series race, beginning with NASCAR Countdown. That's over on ABC at noon Eastern Time. The Sprint Cup race is on ESPN tomorrow starting at 12 Eastern. Who's going to win in what has been a wild and woolly affair here at the Glen in the last few years? Downstairs to Vince.
Carl Edwards won at Sonoma in June. He's had some really good runs here at Watkins Glen, but he'll start 16th tomorrow. You were saying you felt a little loose through the S's. What's going through your mind when you know you're losing time going through a particular part of the track?
A lot of things go through your mind. The biggest thing is that at that part of the lap, I mean, you take the green flag, you got everything like you want to get to turn one, and then when you mess up those S's, it haunts you the rest of the lap, and it's just, then you almost sometimes make more mistakes because you're trying harder. But we had a couple of pretty good laps. If we would have run a little better through the S's, if I'd have done a little bit better job, we'd have been better off. But I believe I've got the right guy on the box with Jimmy, with the strategy. We've had a lot of luck with our Kellogg's Cheez-It Ford. It's Cheez-It weekend, so if we could make it two road races this year and win here, it'd be huge. But to me, they're fun racetracks. I just wish I'd done a little better job in qualifying.
Alan?
Carl talking about trying to sweep the road course events in 2014. It was back in June out at Sonoma, California, where Jimmy Fennig worked his magic with the strategy and Carl worked his magic with the gear shift and steering wheel and pedals and got to the finish line first and took home the checkered flag. And the traditional flip-out celebration. And when you look at Carl on road courses in recent years, what you see when you evaluate numbers is, pretty darn good.
Yeah, he holds a pretty wheel on these road courses, doesn't he?
So figure Carl Edwards to be a factor here on Sunday, despite the fact that he'll start in 16th position. Now, statistically, you say Carl might be outside the window for potential winners when you look at this. On road courses in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, most of the winners do come from the top 10 starting spots. And in fact, here at Watkins Glen, the winner has come from the top 5 the last 4 straight years. Track position.
Yeah, that percentage would even be higher for the winning if it wasn't for me qualifying in the top 10 a few times.
You said that during a commercial. I wondered if you were going to say it on the air.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. My lack of ability on these places. But it was fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting session right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 7 of the guys that are in this top 12 have never won a road course pole. They're going to have a chance.
Yeah, and in particular, there's a couple that we've been highlighting for this weekend. Their opportunity, one of them being right here in Marcus Ambrose, the other being A.J. Allmendinger, that look at this race as their chance to be a part of the chase and get themselves and their team situated into it.
10 minutes, 12 drivers for pole position. Pit stall pick and the best track position to start the race here on Sunday. Dave?
We're talking about Jimmy Johnson here. He was on track when the session ended, just in case. He was sort of mid-line with the top 12, and Chad Knaus told him, we're going to go out, and I want you to just sort of soft pedal it around, get back to the start-finish line so you can start a lap at speed, and then we'll tell you if you have to complete the lap. So he took the green at speed, and when they reasoned that there weren't enough cars left out there to put Jimmy outside the top 12, then they told him to back it down. That was about at the bus stop, so almost half a lap before he backed it down. So he's not got the freshest car among them here, but he also didn't really abuse it at the last minutes there.
So still hooked up to the cool-down unit and waiting to go out to make his runs.
Amazing how much this type of qualifying session just changed things, Andy, especially for the crew chiefs and looking at all of that.
Yeah, especially when you're sitting there and you're not 100% sure that you can make it and you are looking at the clock. You've got to get the car out there to start the lap. And you know that it's going to hurt you a little bit because they're going to have to wait till it cools down a little more here and wait till the end of this session to make their run.
Well, basically, they're looking at probably one lap is what they're going to go out there and throw at it.
A.J. Allmendinger saw him early in the first session and then didn't really see him again because he put up a number that was able to hold up.
The drivers are busy in that car now.
That's it, first green flag of the session.
Kind of sets the tone right here. We heard Carl Edwards talking about it as you start up through this. You could see he was having to pedal with the throttle just a little bit there, but still carrying a lot of speed. This right here is going to get your attention.
See how they use that throttle just a little bit so it makes that shift smooth when they're doing that downshift.
Just look how violent that is. Turning left, turning a little bit right, getting back out of there.
They really have to work the throttle here. They can't go down on the throttle until they get all the way off that corner.
too. That car was certainly hung out, not overly tight for AJ.
Get on that big old gas pedal right here. I like that big gas pedal. It's bigger than the brake. Means it'll go fast, right?
108.67. It was a 108.11 that Ambrose posted in the first session. Here comes Marcos.
This doesn't look like as fast a lap as what he put up the first time, but still very solid.
Wow, that's 4/10 better than Allmendinger.
And you have to think that the track has probably lost a little bit of grip and speed at this point in time. As the day is heating up, the track's heating up. A lot of cars out on the track.
See Harvick third fastest. Only 5 have posted time so far. Junior and Kenseth and Jeff Gordon. And everybody else, besides those 5 that have posted times, yet to go out onto the speedway. What time's the right time?
I think like the 22 who had to go out really late in that first session, they're letting this get cooled down as much as they possibly can, getting all the tape. They know that one lap is all that they're going to get a shot at it here.
Dale Jr., Matt Kenseth, with 6 minutes to go. Junior, solid yesterday in practice, solid in the opening qualifying session.
I made a statement yesterday on a SportsCenter deal that I was doing. This weekend for this team, it's not going to do anything to take away from the confidence that they have and the way that they view this season so far and looking at the championship. If something should happen tomorrow and it's not the best thing, well, there's no road courses in the chase. They're not going to be concerned about that. This weekend can only enhance the confidence this driver and team has. If they go out here and have a solid run, a chance at winning this race, maybe even win the race tomorrow, then that's only going to increase what they have going on.
This team is so loose. They're executing at a high level, and they have that momentum going. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see them get another top 10, maybe even top 5 finish tomorrow.
Now, Junior's just started his flying lap here. When he finished his run in the first session and his number came up on the board inside the top 5, the scoreboard is just as you drive downhill into turn 1, driver's right. He saw his number pop up. We caught this on his radio.
Black at 88 popping up on that billboard after I crossed the line down there. Thought they made a mistake. Same for it.
I said they were loose.
That's fun.
And loose in a good way, not the car.
You hear people talk about that have been involved in championship teams. I'll bring this back to baseball. Last year, the Boston Red Sox all talked about playing for each other and how much they cared for each other and how much they wanted to go out of their way to make the guy at the locker next to them feel they'd given their all every day. I get that sense from this 88 team, too, that these guys just care for each other so much, and there's been such a bond put together with this whole group that there isn't anybody who wants to let anybody else down in that group with the effort that they make. They want to get done at the end of the day and be able to look across at the other guy and know they gave their all.
Yeah, and it's not just the crew chief and driver relationship, which we know how good that is. It's all the team. I heard Junior talk about every team member he feels close to now, that they have this kind of relationship.
Yeah, they're part of an organization that has shown them, that's given them that if you do all of this together, then that's the way that it gets done. And Jimmy Johnson and his group, we see Gordon here. Got it.
Absolutely.
P1 right there.
Wow, just barely missed the track.
Hell yeah, boys!
What I started to say when you were talking about Jeff is I get that feel from Jeff Gordon's team, too.
Sure.
Well, Jeff Gordon's team has been, they have been one of the fastest cars on the racetrack the last probably, 6 weeks? Really, overall the season.
Jimmy Johnson.
I'm not sure about that entry into turn 1 that I saw there from Jimmy. Just caught kind of the tail end of it there, but it didn't looked like maybe he cut in a little bit soon. It shot him out a little wider and maybe not as much speed as he wanted to carry. We'll see if it's hurting his speed here. Looks pretty good so far.
Very good corner there.
Yeah, really good speed.
Not going to be enough to bump Jeff Gordon from the pole, but a very good lap for Jimmy Johnson. Third for Jimmy. Here's Joey Logano. And by the way, when you see that tracker kind of hiccup, it's when the car goes under that pedestrian bridge that goes over the racetrack between that last corner and the start-finish line.
So that's what that is.
That's what that is. Ninth for Logano. Brad Keselowski, Kurt Busch, the only two drivers that haven't posted a time. Both are on the track. Here's Kurt through the inner loop. That tracker was green when we caught onto it, red by the time he got through the loop.
See some sparks flying from the curb right there.
Yeah, let's see if he can make up some here in turn 6, this left-hand corner.
Marcos Ambrose just screamed back onto the racetrack. He's got to get back around to the start-finish line before that clock hits 0 to try and take another shot. Here's Kurt. Fourth. Brad Keselowski coming around. I believe that's just the start of Brad's lap there. Look at this. I talked about the 9 car screaming back onto the racetrack.
Yeah, he was trying to get back around here before the time ran out, so this lap that he's trying to get out there and put down will count.
A.J. Allmendinger is on the racetrack also. He just crossed the start-finish line. He's good for another lap. Watching for Ambrose while we watch Brad Keselowski. This is going to be close. He's coming off the last corner. And
not going to make it.
Wow.
Get it down, guys. We didn't make it.
Just a little too late, so Marcos Ambrose will not win the pole for this one. So still on the racetrack, Brad Keselowski, A.J. Allmendinger. Steam already spitting out the overflow of that 2. Ryan Vickers just finished, still 11th. Keselowski, 9th. Harvick, 4th. Ryan Newman. Here's Allmendinger, 6th.
Allmendinger was able to run faster, but not pick up nearly enough.
I think Jeff Gordon surprised them all.
This is Watkins Glen, isn't it? Are we in Sonoma or is this the Glen?
Four-time winner at the Glen, but it's been since 2001.
That was huge.
But he's on pole for tomorrow's race, and obviously very pumped up about it.
These last few years.
So your top 12, Gordon edging out Marcos Ambrose, with Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick in row 2. Brad Keselowski starting in 9th position. Ryan Vickers rounding out the top 12. Yet another track record falls, but then that's what we expected to happen here at the Glen today. We'll talk to Jeff when we come back. He's all pumped up.
Great day to be in the Little League World Series. These kids have been watching this their whole life.
Celebrating 75 years of Little League. The Little League World Series continues through August 24th on the networks of ESPN. Presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Pennzoil has reimagined a motor oil made from natural gas. Proven to keep pistons cleaner than any leading synthetic. Helping to protect against the loss of fuel economy. Designed for complete protection. Born from natural gas. Pennzoil Platinum with Pure Plus technology. Motor oil reimagined.
Some people think coaching is all strategy, but every coach knows strategy. You've got to find an edge wherever you can, and this is mine. This Intel-based tablet does anything I need, precisely when I need it. When you've got a whole team depending on your split-second reaction, performance matters. This Intel processor helps win championships.
Two things you only dreamed would come together. A cheesy quesadilla wrapped around a beefy burrito. The new Quesarito from Taco Bell.
Energy! Energy, energy, energy. It's inside of all of us. Even Gary here. Baraka has guarana and caffeine to support mental sharpness. Oh, yeah. Early morning meeting? No problem. Plus, Baraka has B vitamins to support physical energy. Some assembly required. Ah, cherished memory. I'm bringing down the house. Two things, one package. Baraka!
If you're suffering from constipation or irregularity, powders may take days to work. For gentle overnight relief, try Dulcolax laxative tablets. Dulcolax provides gentle overnight relief, unlike Miralax that can take up to 3 days. Dulcolax, for relief you can count on.
These trucks aren't for show. No. These are work trucks. They carry a heavy load. They're pushed to their limits. Bumped, battered, and abused. So if they have a few scratches at the end of the day, that's okay. It's all on a good day's work.
Back live at Watkins Glen, they're lining them up for the race.
Put that 24 up front.
Got a few 88s in that field, too.
Junior's got a good chance at that one, doesn't he?
All right, here's how they line up for Sunday's race. Jeff Gordon, pole position, his 75th Sprint Cup Series pole at his third here at Watkins Glen.
Tony Stewart, not a bad qualifying run, but just out of the top 12.
Kyle Busch, who's been a factor in the end of these races, got a long way to go tomorrow afternoon, though.
A little deeper in the field, Clint Boyer has some success on road courses. Martin Truex Jr. as well. They'll have to work their way up to the front.
Yeah, Biffle, Kane, and Austin Dillon all battling for those spots in the chase with points right now.
And they're pretty deep in the starting field, all of those drivers. So Jeff Gordon on pole at Watkins Glen. Vince?
It's amazing. 22 consecutive years with a pole in the Sprint Cup Series, and I know that felt really good. The way you celebrated when you got out of the car. What kind of confidence does that give you heading into tomorrow?
Oh my gosh, I am so proud of this pole, from the effort that this Drive to Hunger team put into this weekend, as well as that lap. You know, qualifying has really been what's hurting us here at Watkins Glen, and I blame myself mainly. I'm so happy today to get 3 shots at it. I think that really made the big difference. You know, the first lap, I did okay, but I got held up a little bit coming back to the checker. And the second one was a really good lap and got us into the top 12. And then I just tried to do the same things in that last lap. Alan made a slight adjustment, and I thought that it was about the same as what I ran before. I didn't think it was going to be that much better, but wow, what a lap. I'm so excited. Today is Leo's birthday, and I told him on the phone earlier that I was going to go try to get a pole for him. Not realistically thinking I had a shot at it, but we were going for it. We got it done. Happy birthday, buddy. And, man, I'm pumped. Yeah, this gives us a lot of confidence.
What kind of statement does it make?
I think today made a statement, definitely. You know, we ran pretty good in race runs yesterday, but we didn't do too much in qualifying runs. And and just the way that we struggled here in the last couple years. This has been one of our toughest tracks. So to start the weekend off with a pole, heck yeah. You know, we talk about real possibilities with Drive to End Hunger. After winning this pole, I truly realize anything is possible.
Indeed. Congratulations. Jeff Gordon will start from the pole tomorrow. Alan.
And obviously still very pumped up over that lap on the racetrack. We want to show you the end of the race last year here at Watkins Glen for Jeff Gordon when he was involved in a very hard crash, exiting the S's and onto the back straightaway. And the reason we show this to you is because it sort of served, at least statistically, as a launching point for this 24 team and driver. Since that race ended that way, look at the numbers for Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, certainly you can't go against the fact and the numbers of what's transpired. And Jeff Gordon's always been so good here. But, you know, sometimes there's just things that get a driver to realize, hey, we've got to turn this around, and I'm a big part of that. And for anybody that had any thoughts that Jeff Gordon isn't still excited about driving these race cars and the possibility of a win, that right there just shows it to me. Obviously, the past year has done a lot to that, but to see how excited he was about winning this pole.
Jeff mentioned his son Leo's birthday. Jeff's birthday was just on the 4th of August. 43 years old, still getting it done, and right in the thick of contention for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship. They were flying, or at least some tires were flying off the pavement at some points around the course. Jeff Gordon, fastest today.
What are you doing, Jay? Hang down your own tree. It's my tree. I'm just trying to do something nice for the neighborhood birds. You don't care about the birds. You're just trying to get their droppings on my dart. I've always supported birds. They're one of nature's miracles. What is this even? This is not even part of a tree. Sure it is. It's to feed the birds. Look where you put the birdhouse. I didn't even notice your car here. I literally didn't even notice it. It's coming down. It's not coming down. Oh, it's coming down. I'll call the police. I hope you do. I would love to call the police on you. I would love to see you think the police would side with you on this.
Get a large 2-topping pizza for just $7.99 at PizzaHut.com. A deal this good only lives online. So for a limited time, try the $7.99 online deal any day of the week when you order at PizzaHut.com. The best Pizza Hut deals live online. Pizza Hut.
The Beam family has a long history of doing things their own way. In fact, they age every drop of Jim Beam twice as long as the law requires for a true Kentucky straight bourbon. So, 4 long years from now, I'll be back for this one. That's how Jim Beam makes history. How will you make yours?
Duralast is tough. It can take the cold and the heat. Trust me, this battery can beat up your battery. Duralast, proven tough. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
To those who still find the taste of 5-Hour Energy a little strong, don't miss the 5-Hour Energy $100,000 Yummification Contest. Mix 5-Hour Energy with your favorite beverage. Yummification. Name it. Shoot it. Send us the video. Yummification. You could win a share of $100,000.
For rules and requirements, go to 5hourYummification.com.
The 5-Hour Energy Yummification Contest.
It's delicious.
First, a little family business. When you spend 38 weeks a year traveling around the country bringing you these races, you create a lot of relationships, a lot of friendships, and you become really close. We call our TV group our TV family. And we lost a family member recently. Ray Solis works as part of the group who bring you these great pictures and make sure all of this $70 million of electronics comes home to you in the best possible way. And Ray lost his 4-year battle with cancer recently. We just wanted to pass along a thought and a memory of the easy smile, the genuine affection that he shared for what he did and who he worked with, and send our sympathies and our thoughts to his wife Melanie and his 3 children, his sons Tyler and Brent, and his daughter Gabby. Ray Solis was 53 years old, and he'll be missed.
Sin City is seduction.
I need you.
Betrayal.
Killing.
Justice. Sin City, a game to kill for.
Energy! Energy, energy, energy. It's inside of all of us. Even Gary here. Baraka has guarana and caffeine to support mental sharpness. Oh, yeah. Early morning meeting? No problem. Plus, Baraka has B vitamins to support physical energy. Some assembly required. Ah, cherish memory. I'm bringing down the house. 2 things. 1 package. Baraka!
You guys coming to my barbecue? Steve's BBQ.
Yeah.
Is this right?
Oh, hey, guys. Subway is bringing big barbecue flavor with the Applewood pulled pork, slow cooked to tender perfection. Subway, eat fresh.
So, you want to be eco-friendly?
Of course.
Okay, got corn?
We got that.
Got someone limited to Sunoco Green E15 fuel?
Got it.
Got a car to use that fuel?
Sure do.
Got a way to recycle?
Yep.
Got trees to offset carbon?
Got that.
Got sun to power the sport?
You bet.
Got electric-powered cars?
Yep.
So wait a minute. You cut emissions by 20%, you're the largest recycler in sports, and you use solar power?
Of course we do.
All right. Got a cool earthy logo?
Check this out.
Too cool. Better. Tomorrow, the race to the all-new Chase returns to the Glen, where wild finishes are the norm and playoff hopes hang in the balance. Watkins Glen, tomorrow at noon.
With so many schools, there's just no time to visit them all and make up your mind. Schools on demand, schools on demand. All you got to do is lift up your hand and go to Schools on Demand. Schools on Demand. Schools come to you on Schools on Demand.
When you compare the top speed of DSL from the phone company with the top speed of Comcast Business Internet, well, there's really no comparison. Why pay more for less? Call today for a low price on speeds up to 150 megabits per second and find out more about our 2-year price guarantee. Comcast Business, built for business.
TV.
Back live at Watkins Glen. We're not done yet. Still got the NASCAR Nationwide Series for 200 miles today. We'll do that one over on ABC starting at 2 Eastern Time. A little quick lunch break and a change into a suit and tie, and then we're off and running for the Nationwide Series race, 2 Eastern over on ABC. Tomorrow's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series round is on ESPN starting at noon Eastern Time. The finishes that we've had here at Watkins Glen the last few years have been incredible, and we certainly have good reason to expect just the same tomorrow. And again, noon Eastern Time for the Sprint Cup Series from here at Watkins Glen on Sunday. A.J. Allmendinger hopes to be a factor in that finish. He qualified 6th, Dave.
He usually is, AB. Qualified 6th today. And how would you assess the qualifying session, A.J.?
I'm not happy with myself. I felt like I never nailed that lap. Jeff put a heck of a lap in. I don't know even if I would have nailed the lap, if I could have ran what he ran. But, I know we got a fast Scott Product Chevy. Race trim was really good yesterday. It's just one of those driver things right now. I'm just a little upset with myself. Felt like I let the guys down just a little bit. But overall, I know we're going to have a fast race car. I got to play this thing smart, and if we do the right things and make no mistakes, we're going to have a shot to win this thing.
So how do you motivate yourself? We were talking off camera here in the break. Pep talks don't work for you right now. So how are you going to motivate yourself to do well in the race?
I'm motivated. It's that's why pep talks don't work. I'm already motivated. I know we're going to have a fast car. I'll get over it in about 5 minutes here. It's just at the test, I felt like I nailed that lap and just never duplicated it. Even yesterday to today, So, just a little driver thing, a little upset, make myself even a little bit more mad, and go kick their butt tomorrow.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
A.J. Allmendinger, he will start 6th. Vince Welch?
With Dale Earnhardt Jr., pretty pleased after that run. Hey, you're not supposed to be a road course guy. You did a heck of a job. Were you happy with it?
Yeah, real happy. We were happy with how the car has good grip and good speed. I was real disappointed because we lost all the brakes on that last run. They cooked in between the sessions and didn't have a brake pedal on any of the straightaways and really had to do a lot of brake pumping on the brakes. But like coming out of 10 and going into 11, it'd be going to the floor just in that little bit of a stretch there. So. But we learned a little bit of a lesson on that and won't let that happen again. But the car has amazing grip, great speed. We've been real happy all weekend. And so just, appreciate my guys working so hard and putting such a good car out there. It's just, I feel lucky to be able to drive it. I ain't really had to try to find any speed myself or help them sort out anything on the car balance-wise. They unloaded a real fast car. And I've been learning how to drive it and just getting better and better the longer the weekend goes, like we usually do at these places.
And we know that, real importantly, that the Fantasy Football League draft you hosted last night, who'd you get with the first pick?
Well, I was the 5th pick, and Peyton Manning was still on the board, so I felt like I had to take him that late. I didn't think that he would still be there, but I got some good running backs regardless, and I like my team. So we're raised a good amount of money for the Jimmy V Foundation. We auctioned off one spot in this league, and a fan spent over $7,000 for it. We got a lot of drivers that are pitching in that I got to thank, Denny Hamlin and Regan Smith and Harvick and Matt Kenseth, McMurray, Chase Elliott, the Dillon boys. A lot of guys pitched in their time to be a part of this to help raise some money, so I want to thank all of them.
Yeah, it looked like a fun night. And Alan, if you can get Peyton Manning with the 5th pick, I think you've done all right.
Not too bad. Wonder where Tom Brady was in there. Just saying. David White was the fan who bid the money to support the Jimmy V Foundation, and we appreciate Dale Jr.'s willingness to jump in on that with Matthew Berry, our ESPN fantasy football expert, and make it all happen. Great cause, as Junior said, and great fun, too, as the fall goes on. Lining up the grid for the NASCAR Nationwide Series race. We'll look ahead to that and the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race from Sunday when we come back to the Glen.
I'm MMA champ Chuck Liddell, and I stop things. Just like Duralast brakes. They stop anything! Duralast, proven tough. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
No matter where you want to be or what you want to do, chances are we're already there. 12 brands, more hotels than anyone else in the world. Like Super 8, where every destination is super. For a chance to win $1 million, visit WyndhamRewards.com.
This is Bill. His doubleheader day at the park starts with back pain and a choice. Take 4 Advil in a day or just 2 Aleve for all-day relief.
Peanuts! Peanuts!
Pizza night from Pizza Hut just got a whole lot sweeter with the ultimate Hershey's chocolate chip cookie.
Share 8 large slices of freshly baked cookie goodness packed with Hershey's chocolate chips. Get it for just $4.99 when you order a pizza, including cheesy bites.
And the sweetness, it's just getting started.
Pizza Hut.
So sharky.
The Little League World Series continues through August 24th on the networks of ESPN.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Back live at Watkins Glen. Looking ahead now to Sunday's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Cheez-It 355 here, 355 kilometers around this very challenging course. The last few years, the finishes have been spectacular. I don't know how you can top the one we had a couple of years ago, 3 years ago actually, between Marcus Ambrose and Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch, and we didn't actually know track conditions also.
Yeah, there was actually some oil on the track, and but it made for some great racing. Just incredible to watch these drivers on that final lap, and Ambrose coming out on top.
Well, they changed the lead 3 times in a lap?
Yeah, I think so. And the 3 different drivers. I think Kyle Busch started as the leader of that lap.
Yeah. Now, I know coming into the weekend, you said this could be one of the wildest Watkins Glen races yet. You're not prone to overstatement. That was pretty wild, but we're going to expect a good one Sunday.
Yeah, I'm not sure we can guarantee anything like that, but in talking to the drivers about this place, the thing that makes me say that is the speed that they have here, but the chances they're going to have to take. And obviously there's some of these drivers that have to take more of a chance if that opportunity is there. So I think it's going to make for some of the most entertaining racing we've seen at this racetrack over the years.
Well, you've got some drivers out there, a handful of drivers that have already won. They have nothing to lose. They're in the chase. They're going to be gambling like crazy, too. So it's going to be a lot of things that are going to be in play. I think it's going to be even more difficult for people that don't have a win to gamble to try to get one. Although you've got people that have speed like Marcus Ambrose and Allmendinger that might be able to just do it on just raw speed.
The added speed with this year's configuration of Sprint Cup Series cars has made a difficult track already more challenging mechanically on the car, physically on the driver, even strategically for the crew chief. We saw Joey Logano's car get punished today over the rumble strips in qualifying when that front splitter got ripped apart. This is going to be one tough fight here on Sunday on all levels.
Well, you've got this lower ride height. These cars are not having to go through a post-race ride height check, so they're really right on the mat. You can see they come over these curbs, and this was after they'd already had some damage to this car in the first session. They repaired it, put some bare bond on that splitter, and you can see it's still taking a beating.
And they wonder why that weld broke earlier. I mean, come on now. But, the other side of this is, too, and talking to these drivers, talking about that speed, and we heard Dale Jr. allude to it there, is the braking situation. They're much deeper into these corners, which means they're harder on the brake. So could we see brake issues before the race ends tomorrow? Could be something to watch out for. And drivers may have to be holding back a little bit there not to abuse it.
And 2 themes we've been on for the last couple of weeks will play big factors in tomorrow's race as well. Strategy and late restarts.
Yeah, the strategy thing is going to be very, very important to get it right, because we've seen just the last few weeks. This is the third 2.5-mile track we've been on. This is obviously a little different than the others, but it's still going to be the same type of strategy when it comes to fuel and making these things, making these pit stops at the right time.
And that late restart will likely turn from give and take to all take and very little give as drivers fight for positions. If that win is out there for someone to try and race their way into the chase by scoring a win here at Watkins Glen, there are some interesting candidates lower right there to do it.
Yeah, there's certainly interesting candidates for that would like to take that 0 off there and add their name to the chase scenario. But these others that maybe not get in that situation, they're going to have to do a little points racing tomorrow, minimize the damage or maximize an opportunity, because we see a lot of cars finish on the lead lap here.
Yeah, and if one more person gets a win, it's going to compress that area that you can get in on points. Don't think they're not thinking about that.
29 cars finished on the lead lap in this race a year ago. It's an opportunity to give away a lot of points if you're in the wrong spot at the wrong time. So that's tomorrow at Watkins Glen. First up, a brief break, and then this afternoon's NASCAR Nationwide Series race. They're lining them up for the grid. We're over on ABC starting at 2 Eastern time, and then tomorrow our Sprint Cup Series coverage begins with NASCAR Countdown on ESPN starting at noon Eastern from here in Watkins Glen. Up next, little tennis, the Emirates Airlines U.S. Open Series Rogers Cup. That is next here on ESPN2. Racing an hour from now from here in Watkins Glen. And as far as Sprint Cup qualifying goes, it was Jeff Gordon who won pole position today.